Brick Talk. I'm Randy. On Twitter, I'm RT Row. Co-host this evening is same as every week, Danai.
Indeed. What's up, people? Everything good? How's the market?
How's the market doing, right? And we're here for another Brick Talk. And of course, the nice, pretty screen that you're seeing if you're watching us on YouTube is My Money JA, which is where we get so much of our information from, which follow the market information. We're coming to you like for a few hours after the closure of, is it the biggest junior market?
So yeah, I think that's it. Largest junior market listing.
Well, I mean, not the largest listing because there's a cap on the junior market, right?
I'd say it must be the largest. It's 500 million.
Yeah, but then it tie for largest with like a couple other things. Yeah,
It's the largest amount raised on the junior market.
But again, still, them won't let them have a cap on them raise. I mean, like it's the largest amount submitted.
Collected.
What is it?
Yes, bid. So the largest amount of people bid complete for an IPO.
Yeah.
And I know we get touchy about how the word raise is used.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think that's a major sign as it is there of I guess just where the market is, the democratization of the market maybe. 5 billion. I hear 4 billion. I think it sounds better if you say 5.
Yeah.
5 billion.
5.
For 500.
If they give everybody a piece, if they give everybody equal, that's a percentage of the offer, if they get 1%, we ask for.
One. Damn.
So I was just having this conversation with somebody, and I was talking about allocation. What it look like if they were to give everybody a base, then that 1% only gets smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends on the base and the people. Nothing, but let's just assume. Yeah. So, what kind of allocation are you expecting to see?
Yeah, that's the next question that I think immediately jumps to mind. What kind of allocation?
Give it up to 10. Yeah, give it up to 10 grand each, and then they don't get nothing past 10 grand. Say, I said, I know what me apply for. If it look like, imagine go to IPO in a general public. I'm gonna get 10 grand. 10 grand and 0.5%. Imagine that.
It don't really take much to imagine. I mean, it's very, very possible, right? It's very, very, very possible. Very, 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 very possible. Let me just say hi to all the people listening in. If you're listening in, welcome again to Brick Talk. I'm Randy. That's Danai. We just introduced ourselves. We're talking, of course, about the latest news, the latest greatest news. Kadeen Mears and the I keep calling him Rye Boy because I remember him username versus him actual name. Ryan Reed of First Rock. That's what the headlines are saying. 5 billion out in this IPO. 5 billion, as we're just saying, submitted in this IPO. Of course, then I have views on it. I'm sure you guys on and of course people listening in on Twitter on the space also I'm sure have a lot of views on it. And we want to hear from you. We want you guys to join in. So send a speaking request, as we say every week. Send a speaking request. Let's talk about it. As good as it's not going to be the only thing that's on your minds. If you're really, really smart, if you're sharp with the market, you know that the last 2 weeks have been the real Black Friday. So somebody messaged me and say that they're in a conversation and them say that the words were that they don't really see me tweeting much, they don't see me saying nothing, and they were talking to somebody else. And somebody else was saying, "Oh, the market must have beat him up." But they know me, and they're like,
"I said work, Randy."
Yeah. No, they know me, so they're like, "That's that. You don't know that guy. You don't know Randy. He's not talking. He's very quiet. If he's being very quiet, it is something very, very good. Trust me. This time period has been."
The thing is, so I found out I tweet a lot apparently. I speak a lot about the stock market. As far as I'm concerned, I want to don't talk much about it. Tweeting much about it. In fact, I think most of my tweets aren't about it nowadays. And then 2, how much do you actually talk about in tweets? Like people think like that's a meter conversation.
You know what? Here's the thing. The person that was saying it to me knows me. Like actually knows me. The other person just know of me. I mean, they've met me, but they don't really know me, right? And you're saying that and it's occurring to me, yeah. Like if you know me personally, the things I say, the stuff I tweet, how I joke, it means a lot more, I think, to the people that actually know me versus like somebody who sees me just on Twitter. If you just see me that way, you probably just think stocks alone, right? And yeah, I do tweet a lot about stocks, but like what, tweeting dot? If you've done grow, me tweeting dot means a lot more to you. And if you have conversations with me about investing and stock market, you actually know how I think and how I go through things and how I invest, then it means a lot more to you.
And it's still so little. And you're giving so little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not accidental. I mean, you charge money to give people steady, specific advice. And and I feel there's the responsibility of what I talk about out there because people take it. I've seen enough people take what I say and twist it into something else and run with it. So I just try not to put too much out there, you know. And I don't mind staying quiet. The last few days have actually been a lot quieter because I've been sick. And I'm saying that to say, guys, if you sound weird or if you hear me coughing, apologies, but I'm a little sick. But yeah, no, going back to the market point, it has been Black Friday on the market if you're smart. It has been, yeah. I don't think that the 5 billion came out of the market to go to dollar, right?
Yeah. I think out of it came from elsewhere. But
yeah, a good portion of
the
it,
market,
I'm sure.
like a big nice a good amount of the market. It's funny, I'm talking about it as the market because I know it's easier to explain that way to people. But a good amount of things on the market dip. Yeah, and I kind of feel nice every time a client refer to it as discount. So what should I be buying at discount?
Yeah.
You say, cool. So we're not afraid of the end of the way right here. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, sorry. If you think, like you said, discount. All right, let's look at the market as it is now, just in terms of what's down today.
Jesus.
Look at that.
Blood in the streets.
Right?
War.
Right. Look at some of the deals out there. I'm afraid to call certain names, but I think I don't need to. I mean, what I'll do is, as always, guys, I invite you to send in your speaking request and we will have a conversation. So if you talk about some of the deals that you think are out there, that you see that you've been enjoying, then of course, you know, we can have a conversation. We will have a conversation about it. But on my own, I'm hesitant to jump on too many things. But like, oh God, like lab below $3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Andy, are you okay?
Am I?
Yeah, boy, I might have sell big talk tickets, you know, bro.
I wish. Tell Twitter to give me the power. I wanted to read today. Load of some of our private conversations. Then I spoke to you about like looking at the market from the basis of PE currently.
Bro.
And
what's going on for JPS 9.5?
JPS that I don't know actually.
PE.
No.
But yeah, that's funny. It really shocked me. I never thought of it. It shouldn't have a PE until you that. But yeah, that's funny.
Well, it
everything but it.
It does have a PE, you know.
It does. It actually, yeah.
It does have a PE.
So we think of it that way. But you don't have any share. You don't have any share. You don't have any share of profits. You're not entitled to profits.
It's not a matter of entitlement.
But PE,
it's a matter of measuring it, right?
Exactly. That's how I lean and say, yeah. And whatever you want to do the PE is whatever you want to do the PE at the end of the day for your analysis. So you're very right. Yeah. The number is that. So it's about PE.
No, you say it, I'm wondering if it's correct.
I mean, I see where the argument would come to say it isn't. But
I think it's not. I'm thinking of why it's incorrect. I think it's because there's some currency
the number. Okay.
movement happening there. Because JPS reports its profits in US dollars. And I think this is 3,000 Jamaican dollars. So I don't know if we're doing the correct translation Jamaican to US here for that specific one. And the good thing you pointed out is I think just because most people don't really ask about it, it doesn't have a lot of shareholders. They're like, there's a very limited. Outside of that, in fact, let me make it a little clearer. Let's take it off. Let me just make it clearer for the typical things that people look at. So again, arranging the market by PE with the highest up. Look after you pass. What was it? The first 18 or 20 bucks. Yeah. Pick up top striker Shan. I saw her tweeting a little earlier this week. She was talking about just the opportunities out there that people grab because of the dollar. The dollar. I know it's going to be called the dollar dip. You know, you can't fight a deluge. You cannot fight a deluge.
I think they need to make a dance for that one. You know, dollar dip. That's all.
The dollar dip. It has been as I say, shopping time. When it becomes time for the refunds. Yeah, I think when the refund, like, because
on the back of what we just said about how big those funds are likely to be.
4 billion.
So if you can find money now, it might be a very good time to say, oh, anything you actually think is a deal, it might be a very good time to get up and buy some of that. I was explaining to our client and say, listen, it's not the COVID level I drop.
Yeah,
it's not the COVID, but you know what I'm saying? It's not but the thing is, it dropped and there's no COVID. Like, you can't give me a reason why, oh my God, there's something that's generally affecting the sentiment that this is a bad thing right now. All right? It's really look like deals. Yeah. So that never mash up nobody business. In fact, they helped you would say they help. So boy, really and truly, dollar getting more money. And the market looking where it is now. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, when the refunds hit, bro.
Congrats to them. Now, if we go a little deeper, a lot of, as I was saying, I think a lot of the money that went to it is not. Some of the money obviously came from other stocks, right? But I think a lot of new money came towards it. You know, I think it's up to this is Uptown's. The right crowd, the in crowd, is linked to it. You know, the fee. A lot of Uptown. Actually, I don't know if it's at Jamaica. How do we feel about me saying this? It's too late.
I'm gonna go vex. So
yes, but somebody at Uptown is vexed about something. I mean, congrats to the team for getting it, and I love how the numbers look on it. I went through dollar. Well, we'll talk about that when somebody comes on. Somebody requests to talk, and we talk about the actual IPO itself and what we think. Since now it's closed and what's done is done, but the actual money that hit the market for it, I think a large amount of it is new money. And I want to think, I'm hoping, I mean, it's a great opportunity.
A good amount will come back.
Yeah, we'll stay.
A good amount will stay. Yes,
yeah.
Like, oh, well,
yeah.
This IPO thing, yeah, it's a marketing good too, because there's a lot of money off it, I say. So,
yeah. And that's where
every new listing bring more people.
Yeah, bring more people in, and then let's think practically. If you're thinking along the lines I just thought, you know, it's a typical Uptown thing. They buy along social lines. They're not buying. They look down on
the look on it's the idea is that there is at a certain level, especially at a certain level of money, you start looking at these things at people, because it's that you want to be close enough to the thing you're buying into, so that for that added level of safety in your mind. So it's not like me now go meet nobody, right? So I kind of have to that's how I have to invest. If you're around, if the crowd is there for you, then you go use it, and you can walk along that line. Oh boy, all right, cool, I know this guy, so it's easier for me to invest because I know what's going on. I can get a pulse side better. I can get the conversation around it because it's just that much closer to me.
And that's how they are. And I'm thinking, imagine if you put, we'll make up this pretend Uptown person. You put 10 million of Uptown dollars into dollar, right? Kind of allocation. Account. And all right, 9 million in cash is in a brokerage account,
and it's $1 flat. Like 3 days in here, so wait. It's what? It's 300%.
Okay, so here's the funny thing I'm thinking, right? Most typical investors, especially that type of investor, uptown investor, thinks of the IPO as the time, as most people do. They think of it as the only time to get in. And they're not going to buy it 50% higher. They're not going to buy it 70% higher. They're not going to buy it 100% higher. No, the trade missed me, right? So they won't buy it at $2 on the market because it's 100% more than they'll what are them Kadim, how is it? Sorry, I have a friend named Kadim, so I mix up the name all the time. Kadim should have put me on the reserve list, blah blah blah, and I never do it. So them, as far as they're concerned, they're done. Why am I going along this line? I'm thinking about what will that typical person do with the money in their account, right? Some will leave, some will just pull back. So them take what and get what them get, and maybe them leave it in stocks, because they don't think about selling. Some might actually buy more on the market. I'm hoping that more people have sense under that. But others, I think, are going to look at other stocks, right? Yeah. And then as I go back to the type of person, the uptown person who would buy, they don't buy like a typical like a pian IPO that like a poor people, us, are buying, right? They kind of look down on it, but they have no issue putting their money in like a Carreras, a NCB, a Signos. Yeah, a Signos sounds very technical. We know that. A GK, but again, I'm thinking of the type of person that will do that will see GK as expensive. $107 per share. That dear man, I not buy that. Dollar was $1. I buy GK for 107. Those of us who know better, those of us who don't grow and know better than to value companies on the share price. But others won't. You start thinking of things like, well, if you're smart, you start thinking about where is a good portion of that extra 4.5 billion that's going to be coming back. Which stocks is that 4.5 going to hit? That's where the real win is, right? What stock is likely to appeal to the typical uptown person who put their money in dollar and get 2% allocation and then get the other 98% return to the brokerage account? Okay, let me try and buy this then, since I have the money in the account. That is where the win is. And if somebody comes on and talk, we can have a conversation about that, guys. I see 2 speaking requests, and I see Sir Louis V. Belt Brett himself. Yeah.
That one is one of the uptown people.
Himself. What's up, sir? All gone, Sir Phil.
Cool, man. The place where me live only have one town here.
Yeah, uptown. That's right.
Up.
Oh God.
Boy, but there. It's been an interesting time as always.
How much of the 5 billion is yours?
5 billion is mine.
How much? Oh, the whole 5 billion is yours. Damn. Couldn't be. Because I'm sure that I
You couldn't leave some for us?
A small.
Again. You don't count this after the 5 and say it's not 5.00. It's not here. Those 5 billion.
Always hilarious. I think I was just making a point that I think Dana you meant 10%, not 1%, if it's distributed evenly.
10, yeah. No, you see, I've been back and forth that number. Yes, 10. Same thing. And you wrote 10 in the column. 10, yes. Ten times what they actually wanted.
So you would get 110,
right?
If we did it
110
along equal lines.
Yeah.
So
what? Sir. You might get trust but verify. I said 10% initially, and I saw a tweet. I think colleagues saying they raised 100 times what they were going for. So me go back myself and say 1%, and I come on the show and talk about
1%. Yeah. Well, but Kalila then go back after and corrected herself because she said she was overly excited.
Someone said, I'm the idiot.
Yeah. She said she overly excited.
I'm me wrong.
Yeah, it's on like she decided
She need a
because she
proofreader.
put some.
Oh.
Actually, I know that Khalil have a friend named 100 times, so that's probably who she was thinking about.
100
um,
times.
so it's actually about 10%. That means what I mean that then speaks, if you're smart, that then helps you
Gauge.
gauge a little bit. I'm very wary of that kind of conversation about gauging what the kind of
Yeah.
allocation will look like,
Oh
because
no,
it doesn't work that way.
actually hate it because I've yet
Yeah.
to see one that it's our first. Listen to people. The first conversation that me and Randy had was an actual conversation. Was us talking about gauging the thing there, and it was a big argument.
Oh, I mean about
Gauging
allocation.
it. And it was. I think I remember how along the lines along which we were arguing. But at that point, we started talking more about stocks.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't even remember. But I know that it's not it definitely
It's
so
like
anybody
far
who
from
listen,
simple. It's not
yeah,
variables,
man.
so we don't have all of them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you answer how
exactly.
much money you get. We have an answer thing there. The amount of people that come and after something there. So in between. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, think about the people
Yeah,
that come
man.
in, the whole has put 100 million. I've heard it said that there's at least one person who put at least, I definitely don't know anything about this, but I've heard it said that there's people that put in hundreds of, so like single people.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Sierra BU, I think can put around 300.
Damn.
Yeah. See,
Damn.
something like that,
Damn.
you know.
You might have me my last week, same ready.
Yeah. It's going to be funny, but I think don't sleep on that thing that I said earlier about what the likely allocation will look like in terms of, not the likely allocation, the likely response to the refund. I like the response to the refund because I think the refund response is where those of us who are sharp, that's where we're going to eat again, right? Definitely where we're going to eat again, because if you think about what the typical person is going to do, again, a large amount of them are just going to pull the money back. Who knows? Maybe JPS comes in with the right timing. Maybe JPS is timed properly so that when the refunds hit, immediately the JPS prospectus drops, and then
Brother, good in the streets.
if you think it's
Trouble.
Black Friday yet,
Double lip. Yo,
you think it's,
let's
yep,
break up. Get cashy.
yep, because people are going to go crazy for that one, and that is going to be the real, I don't know, the real push. I would say the real push for the whole Jamaica, not just part of Jamaica, the whole Jamaica, because if they're smart, I mean, hope we can have a complete other conversation on JPS if anybody interested in that, but it is going to likely, depending on how it's priced and how it's publicly allocated. So if they go along the lines of a Wigton and say ahead of time that they're going along the lines of a Wigton, which I think they should, then blood in the streets in a good way, right?
Yes.
If they do something else though, sensible thing here. Like if I'm thinking of JPS, I think they're going to want much more than 5 billion, right? And they're going to get much more than 5 billion. They're gonna pull a hell of a crowd. They're gonna stay open much longer. And that in itself is a whole other conversation too, right?
And the allocation talk of a sound very, very, very different.
You sure though?
If the government go the bottom up again.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're that. I don't know if they'll do that. I think a lot of that comes down to the broker. They didn't do it for Trans Jamaica.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah,
Didn't they?
they didn't. No, and that's why they suffered.
No, they
And
didn't.
they put
I'm
reserve
there,
classes for the pensions and so on.
I'm there. I say, oh, John, the poor people did win again.
No, if that had happened, Trans Jamaica would have. Yeah, in my amateur opinion. But that we
A
touched
lot of
like
money
three
could
or
have go
four.
back to it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, which was like 3 or 4 points there, Phil. I don't want to talk out your points. So tell me your 1 point that you had, Phil, and then we'll jump on to Stuart's point. And anybody else who has any points, any question, anything, send a speaking request, as we do every week on Brick Talk. Let me remind everybody also that Danai is a licensed investment advisor. I am not, but nothing in this conversation is investment advice. Right? We're talking about the market like we always do, but it is not investment advice. Book a session with him at dhalladvisor.com if you want to get specific advice for yourself.
July is open.
July is open. Still open? Wow.
Yeah, but I said that, but yes, sir. Actually, I don't know if I should say July is open.
Probably not. July is closed. July is closed. But August might be open soon. Who knows? Or there might be other opportunities.
August open. Next month thing. That I need to actually put on the side the dates when whatever open, whatever. But
okay.
Time. I'm the one man show over here, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I don't. I
Jesus,
know how that works.
I'm gonna ask something quick. Do you want the July? Because I didn't book you.
No. That's why I said July is done. Yeah. I'll take them.
Okay, July then.
Yeah, I lock them down for all the people who do grow. So the people who do grow, you guys might be able to get some June. You definitely are getting some June and July dates. So that's an incentive to the grower, and the people who do grow get early dates with Danai. You don't have to wait the 2 months. So if you really want your portfolio to be sorted out and you want to talk to an advisor, there you go. So there's the inexplicable ad. Sir Phil, we interrupted you for that. So what you like? What are you liking currently? I'll give you
just
one.
a quick thing. I was going to jump on the back of what you were saying about the type of investor that would like, that would jump in, or the uptown investor that would jump in with their refund. And it's interesting that you brought up that GK point. I would think that it would be nice for GK to split at this involved, and they have to issue new shares and so forth. But it would be a great time for them to drop that news.
Oh,
in my
split.
mind. But of course, that's pretty much
Jesus.
Yeah.
Imagine. Wow.
You know what?
Imagine that.
Shout out again to
Massey.
No. That you see for the next, like, if the people who are touch the market and the people in control of the market are smart, the rest of the quarter can be extremely lucrative. Because anything that comes to market asking for money in the next week is going to just naturally get a crap load of money. Just off the table. Yeah. And just off money being there. And you know this
money
system,
falling
right?
off the boat.
Yeah, you know, it's like how government of Jamaica time them bonds for you time one bond for when another one matures, you know? So that you don't really allow people to get the money back in their pocket. You give them something else to put it in immediately.
Yeah.
Mayberry being the savvy Mayberry that they are, it wouldn't surprise me if they jump on that opportunity. They of course have many avenues that they can use. I don't know.
No, I would hope if they want something, then I'll be very ready, because Mayberry IPO is in the streets. People love that.
Them don't miss yet.
Don't miss yet.
Yeah, well, they missed once, but it's so long ago that I can say they don't miss yet that nobody remembers the one. But yeah, they don't really miss. They don't really miss. Yeah. I found it interesting that they're so strong backers around Dolla. I wouldn't be surprised if they have stake in there. And remember, for those of you who know, the very first junior market listing was Access Financial, which was done by Mayberry, which is in the same line of business as Dolla, right? I see the title, their program with Dolla as the king of the.
Jesus.
I'm not getting it right, so I'll say I'm paraphrasing, but like the king of the microcredit, king. Yeah, and I thought, wow.
Was it Kadina or Dolla they were talking about?
It don't matter. They weren't talking about access. That's what they were.
It was Kadin. It was Kadin with it. They put a crown on Kadin.
I see.
Um, very much.
I mentioned that because thing there, we're going for SVL.
Well, okay, so that's that. I was getting to that as a next point. So first, I don't know if there's anything about Cardino or Dollar. I mean, I think in our minds we tie the two of them, but like that old, saying, and I'm screwing it up, but like what you don't say speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you do say. The fact that they weren't talking about access tells me a lot, right? These guys are pretty much SVL, and SVL maybe I don't know if Michaela is the microcredit queen, but it could be. I know they're probably, knowing them, they're gunning for it to be.
Uh-huh.
And
I think that's a big part of the plan with all they're doing there.
yeah. But funny enough, so I like that. I mean, I don't know how it looks in terms of competition, how they're viewing it. They'd have to say how they're viewing it, but I like it because Michaela and Dollar can grow. I can see both of them growing 10 times and still not sapping up all of what else here, right? Yeah. At the last grow that I did this week, which probably why I got sick, because I did split grows and I did a private one, and then we're doing this tonight. And one of them was going, yeah, I don't know why I'm running myself so red. I sleep in tomorrow and then I'm doing a proper grow Sunday. I hope people that come to the grow Sunday enjoy it, and then I sleep in right after that. Anyway, the point I was making was that we were looking at Dollar because obviously people are going to pick Dollar as the company that we all reviewed and used at the grow. And the Guyana move obviously is the flashy move that people look at. But there were some other little things in there that I found more interesting, especially for the local market, right? And for the local market, I can see Michaela, which is under SVL. So SVL's fintech microcredit arm. I can see that growing strongly. I can see it growing very strongly, and Dollar growing strongly, and they're still not knocking either.
Knocking heads too much.
Yeah. They're like, them can split up the market between themselves. Because everybody eating off, I don't know, the Giants is allowing too much to fall off the table.
They got beaten.
Yeah, the Giant, that is
Very
NCB,
true.
is allowing too much to fall off the
Who's
table,
making
in
more
my
money
view.
now? Who's making more money now?
I mean,
I heard.
NCB is making more money. No, always. What do you mean? Sorry, NCB is always making more money, but that's the point. You don't remain the Giant by being complacent, right? The Giant might move slow, but it has to keep moving. And I think the Giant is allowing too much to fall off the table now. So death by 1,000 cuts. I think the opportunity is there for a few Giants to get knocked out. I think some companies are taking it. Cement company being another one. I think I can die that death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah. The competitors are just quietly growing. Shout out to Ryan Reed.
A man in many places.
Yeah, boy. I try to figure out who have more fingers in more pots, Ryan Reed or Kevin Donaldson. Damn.
But, young youths working hard. It's funny, they're both headed houses. You say undeniable.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
Strong, man. That's strong.
Yeah. Like I said, that point about Giants they might move slow, but they have to keep moving or they will die. GK is a Giant that is not moving slow. It is not allowing itself to die at all. Yeah. Big up Sizzla Kalonji on YouTube saying that that GK is undervalued. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. That's another one in the bargain bin. Although I don't know if the growth on that triple-digit price tends to scare people, as I was saying earlier.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's thing that I think in truth we are not at a place where that should scare people. Meaning, I don't think $100 just for that is not a step too far for most people in the market. You get me? It's not like, boy, I can't buy Berkshire Hathaway because it's for a month, come correct me. Yeah, and then thing there.
And you can own.
It, you can buy a share in GK for let's say buy party.
Right.
Yeah, so
The
you cannot buy
perception
two
should
party.
be,
So the truth is,
quote
I don't think
unquote,
it's a step
should
too
change.
far. Yeah, the perception. Yeah, I think we hung up on that one, but it's not something you can easily fight at all. It's really something that people will run and take with it and run with, and but you hear the idea many times. All one I hear is I don't get many shares.
Yeah,
They want to
I
set
hear
up
that
a good
all
amount,
the time.
but then it's a good amount of shares.
You know what that is? I mean, I'm not to knock anybody who thinks that, but it's often just a lack of experience. That's honestly what it is early out. I don't get many shares. Is whenever I hear that, I know that somebody just kind of lacks a level of experience because
what's a good amount of shares?
Exactly, yeah. And oftentimes I just
The money
ask
is
that.
really what matters.
Yeah, oftentimes I ask that, and the pause that happens if the person thinks it through, they realize, wow, I really have been thinking about this. And sometimes just asking the right question is all you need. But also this is Jamaica, so sometimes asking the right question, people take it completely wrong. They don't.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I can tell you.
I don't know. I don't know why that is, but I do know that yeah, it sets people off being asked questions sometimes, especially questions that trigger the thoughts. But Sir Phil, your 1 point you had made, I hope I hope you gotten it out, or if you had one more to add to it.
Yeah, man. They had the AGM of them going into mutual funds with Trinidad and Tobago unit trust. To me, it is a step towards them at some point spinning off the financial group. Just a part of strengthening the financial group itself. So looking forward to that, but waiting.
They also they want to spin off much more than just a financial group, to be honest. So we can look out for more things. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean they've spoken to listing the food.
I mean, actual other subsidiaries, but yes, that's also a new thing. I don't know that would be nice, but yeah, the way I see it, there's somewhat the same what you see. If you go into unit trust, then you touch in the market. If you touch in the market and you already do, you have how much listing since here already? Anybody have more listing than them since here? You have the most listing since here?
Who? GK?
GK. IPO, actual IPOs.
No, I think they're listing. They wouldn't got them gone too. Well, technically them
Mayberry
tie with
one,
VM. Technically them tie with VM because VM gone this one. Dollar and they gone VM gone dollar and 1.5 because KP REIT is still open.
KP no, I mean, sorry, okay, new listings. Think that newly listed on the market. Yeah, I think it's just ahead.
Yeah, I think they're ahead with their two. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, Mayberry had mentioned having two, and then said, and I remember the sentence, if I'm not misremembering it. I think he said, word on the street is we have two, and there's also Dolla coming, and Dolla wasn't from Mayberry. They were a selling agent, but they weren't the main broker, so lead broker. So if that is to be believed, then it would seem that Mayberry have two more, and
Mayberry already. Yeah. That sounds like it. It sounds like GK have more. So look out.
Yeah, but the host of Berry knows the market, boy. It cannot.
Oh no, I don't disagree at all.
Undeniable.
But yeah, what a nice year. What a nice year ahead it sounds like. I mean, what a nice year ahead it looks like. Because again, I'm looking at the market and I'm seeing bleeding.
Yeah.
Love that.
Wonderful.
I don't know. First our PE was 7.
Sorry, repeat that.
First our PE 7, and it's fairly close to the USD too. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I wonder. So as I was saying, I was thinking about how much of the blowback from Dolla, when I say blowback, good blowback from Dolla, is going to head right into first rock. And so they might actually, for the first time since listing, get that push that they want, that fly that, because the same set of people will let me go with them, let me work with them, right? Let me work with them. They're changing the name now to, as I said, to concentrate, to point out that they're more concentrated in real estate, which is what they always were.
I'll give you a right issue too.
That would be good if they finally did that. They did say in their prospectus, they did hint at it in their prospectus, right?
Mm-hmm. So imagine a right issue now, get some more of that Dolla money.
Ooh.
Would be a good time.
Yeah, man, if I remember correctly, them showed 2 by now.
And a nice little chunk, I'm assuming 75% of that extra 250 million is going to them. I'm assuming, I don't know for sure. I'm assuming that it's going to them.
Is them or them?
Them, right? Meaning, so I'm thinking about them having a rights issue and having to defend their stake.
Defend it, yeah.
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah, so they'd have cash, at least some of the cash needed, assuming that the raise is of a certain size, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some dots are connecting there. If I lost you, I'm so sorry. I said, if you have any questions, any concerns, any point you want to talk about, anything you're definitely thinking about the Dolla IPO, or anything else on the market, because there's a lot happening on the market, send a speaking request and we'll talk. Sir Stuart, what's up? Stuart, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. My mic was just off for a second. Not much, just a big one up. 2 things. I strongly suspect that Randy's statement, and yours as well, Danai, about a lot of new money coming into the market, I strongly suspect it is correct, because every single brokerage that I spoke with, they were swamped with applications. And it's not, obviously, it's not old people, it's new people coming in. So yeah, that seems to be one of those cases there. And the second thing is that I'd love to hear a little bit more from everybody as to one of the points he raised in terms of when we get the refunds, the other movements, because Dolla is going to take up this for now, but it's the other stuff in the background that's going to be amazing opportunities. And I suspect that part of the reason why we saw some of the appeal for Dolla as well is because people saw what happened with EduFocal earlier this year, and maybe they may have missed out on it, or they didn't take it too serious, and now them say, yo, you think this is going to miss me again? Not a backside.
It missed 2, Spur 3 and EduFocal 3. Spur 3, EduFocal,
exactly.
JFP. Imagine me say all that and me never have no money there, so it not got no again.
Exactly. And don't forget, the people that are in crypto and some of the overseas stuff that may have pulled out because of what's going on over there. That's a real bloodbath. So we may be seeing some of that money coming in.
Maybe. I don't know. I usually find that those guys are averse.
They tend to be like Musk fans. They tend to be very dedicated, almost cult-like.
I never caught that one. Say that again.
I said they tend to be like Musk fans, very dedicated, almost cult-like.
Not that one. Not that. Who you say is coming back at? Who are you talking about?
The people that will say that, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, so I think I missed the whole point. But sorry, that's on me. I just didn't
hear you. He was saying crypto and foreign investors might be coming back.
No, I don't think so.
Me neither.
I don't think they're coming. Yeah, as much as you hear me talk about it and I push for people who are in crypto to do it, they view again, guys, you're gonna hear me coughing all the time. I'm so sorry. I am sick. I think that a lot of the crypto people view that it's almost like they choose to view the market as all or nothing. So it's almost like them thinking that them lose if them touch the Jamaican market. So I think a lot of them might not. I would like them to for their own. God, can you imagine coming off a down market, so you have a lot less money than you had before, or maybe you had a lot less money than you had before, but you're still in profit depending on how long you've been in there, and then you come into the Jamaican market now, you're getting bargains that you almost shouldn't get.
Don't.
Yeah, so maybe the crypto people can tell me. Crypto people can come on. If anybody's into crypto, they can send a speaking request and we can talk about it. But yeah, that might be good. That might be interesting to hear for real.
Well, the only reason I say that is because a few people, not obviously I don't know that many, so I can't speak to the general sentiment, but the few people if I came across that I actually personally know that were in crypto or are in crypto, I think the foundations have been shaken a bit more than they feel comfortable with, and the ones that aren't full evangelical, that were literally just trying to make a little money for them family and stuff. They're looking at this thing and saying, okay, this thing really doesn't have any fundamentals, and it can. If Elon or somebody else like him wakes up tomorrow and tweets something crazy, the whole thing can just either crash or fly. And I think they're beginning to realize that is more likely to happen nowadays. And some of them are beginning to say, okay, maybe I need to find something a little bit more solid. And like we said, they've seen the 3 IPOs from just this year alone gone and fly. And them say, yo, we can't miss out on this. And this is a local thing. We don't have to send nothing overseas. We don't have to fill out no bag of, well, we do have to fill out a bag of forms, but we don't need to get no American account and all of that kind of stuff. It's good to go, man. Good to go. And you find that people that tend to say, oh, they're not really that interested in Jamaican market, them really don't know what they're doing. Them really don't know. Because it's just like something Randy said a few months ago.
Don't say that and then try to put me in front of the firing line, bro.
No,
I can't want to cuss you again.
You understand when I say to you understand. A few months ago, I said something like, no, it's not a Jamaican thing.
You see that them choppy IP a while ago went crackly. What you say I said a few weeks ago?
Yeah, so Jamaican will hear you saying something and no, it's not a Jamaican saying it because of how it's.
I get you. Yeah.
So once you're familiar with the concept, as you hear it, it just stands out to you as bullshit.
Yeah. I get what you mean. They don't like when you say that, but I do get what you mean. Well, since you're here, how much of the 5 billion is yours? Meaning the 5 billion in dollar. Stuart has my asked at him chop him liney. Jaja.
No. I think next up on my IP address again. What were you saying?
I was asking you. Don't play with the MP, sir. I was asking you. How much of the 5 billion is yours?
Not that much. I really used the IPO just so I could open up my Mayberry account, because I remember I spoke about it last Brick Talk that I had an issue with the JSE. It still has not fully been resolved yet. And so yeah, my plans have kind of just had to be tossed up, turned and twisted around last minute. So yeah, that's my thing there right now.
Boy, Mayberry get a whole free ads off us, I'm gonna cut the check now. Well, how many people have gone there as a result of us?
I can get a margin in the future, so yeah, I'm a happy camper.
All right. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're making more money off it. Big up, Stuart.
Indeed. Yes, Stuart. Big up every time.
Big up Randy and Dominic for busting all of us on this lovely information.
Yeah, get rich. Thank us with riches. We try. Thank us with riches. Everybody get richer in nicer.
I'm gonna get my fees 220.
All right, big up. All right, let me jump to the next person. EJA876. Man, so he's just the average nobody. What's up?
Facts. Question. My question is like, what is the big difference between the two, and why is it that one pretty much holds its price and the other one is kind of up and down, especially in the last couple of weeks. Luckily it never lose too much, but at the same time, like, the other one still gained. I'm talking about MJE and MIL.
All right. I can
Two
tell that
different
you've not
companies.
done. I can tell that you've not done grow because you would know the answer to that early out. It's two completely different companies, as
Well,
Danai
I
just
can't do
said.
grow yet because I'm not in the country currently.
No, grow
It's
is
online, yeah.
online. It's
Is
online.
that online thing? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I wasn't aware of
Completely.
that.
Yeah, man. So you should check it out. It will help you. It will help you greatly. I can already tell many things from what you just said, right? You pay attention to the market. You obviously have a couple of things that you pay attention to keenly because you're looking at both of these Mayberry stocks. As Dan I just said, it's two completely different stocks. One is a fund, FUND, that's MJE, and the other one is Mayberry Investments Limited, the broker. Not all the brokers are listed. This is one of the brokers that are listed. MIL, Mayberry Investments Limited. Mayberry Investments Limited owns a huge part of MJE. I think they're, you know what percentage off the top of your head, Danai?
70 odd. All right, 70 odd.
Well, this wonderful feature on My Money JA that allows us to see that. So MJE,
Well,
Mayberry owns 63%
63.
of 63%
Yes, you know when the thing the what name again, the detail thing. I think a good chunk went to Manuel at that time.
Manuel, okay.
well, and it can't beat me too bad. At least I joined the My Money thing.
That's good, you know. No, listen, don't get me wrong. We're biased. I want you to do everything. I want you to grow. I want you to spend some money with that and learn how to fix up your portfolio. I want you to track the portfolio of My Money JA. I want you to see the benefit of all of those things so much. And the benefit is you getting greater value. That's what we all want. So I'm not going to knock it. However, just to answer your question, we're not knocking you at all. It's just to answer your question. I remember say a whole heap of people listening and watching. I want them to learn too. So
Yeah, man.
Mayberry Investments Limited is the broker, and they own Mayberry Jamaica Equities, right?
Okay.
Mayberry Investments Limited itself, that's its major. That's a major thing that it owns. MJE has presence in a bunch of stocks across the market. Its biggest holding being SEL, Supreme Ventures, where it owns. At last reporting date, it owned about 18%. Right now, I don't know because I suspect they've been buying. So if you hear me say it's Black Friday for the last 2 weeks, it's not me alone who says Black Friday.
I have been shopping during the Black Friday sale. You know?
Yeah, man.
Because I mean, from listening to here Brick Talk, and also I have a couple friends that actually did the grow, which we always talk about it privately and whatever. So I have been taking some tips. I said that I wanted to do it, but I thought it was an in-person thing. That's something I just never asked. So I am going to go ahead and do it, but I definitely picked up some things in the sale. Especially I have a few that I've been looking at, and so I one of the things they told me was to downsize, push more into that. So I mean, I have been taking notes, and it definitely works. Big up to you guys for the Brick Talk thing. The My Money JA is really a big thing. So
Yeah,
respect
have you
for
ever
that.
used that feature?
Yeah, man, big up.
Big up. Have you ever used that feature I just showed? It's a
I didn't see
relatively
what you showed,
okay.
actually.
If you're on Twitter, so you would not know. So I guess the people who are listening to it, the people watching us on YouTube would see what. And if you're rewatching this in the future, hi, it's a really cool feature. I don't know how long we'll leave it for. I think we might. Well, let me not time myself out. We're still making a decision, but for now, I think everybody can access it, or at least maybe the beta testers and the gross
Oh well,
subscribers.
I pay for mine still,
Oh, that's good. So you'll definitely get to see this feature yourself. So you can see the owners of the companies.
I'll go and rewatch it on Twitter so that I can YouTube so I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah. So if it helps you to see the ownership structure of all these companies and what they, it's a good feature assessment. It's a nice and interesting feature. But in terms of putting the dots together for yourself, I like how you work on it already. You and your brethren them. I like how you come. If you want to come grow, the next grow is Sunday. So if you go everything.com/grow right now, sign up. You'll be able to join and do the grow Sunday. And as I say, why will at least at that grow be giving away at least some slots to sit with Danai, and those slots aren't months away; they are weeks away. They're I think the closest one
Okay.
would be
Question:
weeks away.
what time is the grower usually?
This grow is going to be 10 in the morning to I think 8:30 in the evening. We'll go all day. There's a break in between. I mean, Yachty House also, but it's a 1 day workshop. Think of it as a 1 day workshop. When it's
Okay,
done,
well, I can't do
you
this
know.
one. I'll be in the air. I'll be a couple thousand feet in the air.
Well, I understand. I hope you come back down safely, and when you do, you can link up. Anyway, I like your question about the two Mayberry companies. So now you understand that they're two separate companies.
Yes. Well, I knew that before. I just really didn't understand what the big difference was, or what was the real difference which drove the value of each. So you definitely cleared that up for me.
And
So thanks a lot.
when you go grow, you're going to get it cleared up even more because there's more depth to it. But here's something else I'll
Yeah.
throw in. Yeah, here's something else I'll throw in. MIL is the most undervalued non-fund company on the JSE right now. Yeah,
Well, that to be honest, when I was doing the research and decided to put some money into it, I actually split the money down the middle, no? So I have equal shares. Well, I
in
spent
both.
an equal amount on both, and I actually got them discount. I got them before they're at the price that they're at now. So even with the
Word.
bloodbath that happened over the last 2 weeks, even with MJE, I'm still in the green. I mean, barely, but still in the green.
Well, that's good. I suspect you're nowhere near the end of the road yet for this thing. As I said to you and to anybody else listening, don't consider a downturn to mean that you're down.
End of the world.
Yeah, downturn
No,
is
man. I mean, I just
can very
watched
well be a
them.
discount.
Oh no, not for you. You sound like you're on the right track. Sounds very fine.
Yeah, I
But
really just watched them because, funny enough, before I started on the Jamaican stock market, I started on the US stock market. Now that is a volatile market. I actually, because I wasn't that versed on it, and it's so many companies and so much this and so much that. At one point, it got a bit overwhelming because I pretty much taught myself this from YouTube and Google and Reddit and Twitter. I taught myself about stocks, taught myself how to read the reports, all of them things there. So on the stock market, at first I did take a beating. I take a beating and then I made back the money, make a little money on it. I'm say, all right, then that is it. For now, I am done with this. And then I started with the Jamaican stock market. That money that I made there, I actually put it in the Jamaica stock market. Luckily, I caught Spur Tree, I caught Eddie Focal, I caught Fesco. So
but that don't sound like
I'm
luck.
good with Jamaica stock market right now.
That don't sound like luck. It's like you put yourself in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, thanks and big up. I don't want to take up on the time, but
That's what we're here for.
well, I mean, I'm sure other people have other questions and things. So
Yeah, man,
I'll
we have a few
continue
people, but
listening,
I'll
and
ask you.
I'll
Well, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry. No, man, no, I won't pressure you. No problem. Big up and keep listening.
What was your action? How much
I was
of the
gonna ask you
5 million
just
is mine?
the 5 billion. Get it right.
The 5 million. One little bit, cause I kind of figured that it would have been way oversubscribed, and I never want to have too much funds locked down in it while they sort out the process.
That's a strategy I heard some people. Like they expect that it's going to be heavily oversubscribed, so they didn't put a lot of money in there. Actually, I had
Yeah,
a different question for you, but no, I'll ask you
go ahead and
this.
ask them.
No, man, I'm gonna ask both. The first one I want to ask is this: then, do you then plan to buy it on the market?
Um, I think so. Based on what I've read, and what I've seen, and I'm also somebody that, I mean, it might not be the best thing, but a lot of times I go with a gut feeling. Like when I first read a prospectus, when I first read a report, the gut feeling that I have, I usually go with it. A few times I have not, and I lost out. So this is telling me that right now it's telling me that it is a good company and it should do something. So I do plan to try whatever them give me. I do plan to try it from early and see where it goes. So I would say yes. I do plan to
Quick
buy.
question. People have gut feeling. How it work?
How it work?
Yeah,
Them
like, I
drink
want to
no
know
tea.
how it feel. How it feel.
How it feel?
Them not drink no tea, man. Them not drink no tea.
Boy, no,
It sound like,
you know,
sound like a gas in
facts, you know.
the
No, for me, like, it's with every, alright, it's just like if a song play, like, you see the first time I hear the song, you see when I like the song the first time I hear it,
Yeah.
then me just, even at the point where it might grow on me a little bit, it's still like, you know, so this song is foolishness to me, but it have a little buzz. You
Yeah.
understand? And then you'll hear a song for the
No.
first time, and you just be like, yo, this bad. Like, I don't know, it's just a feeling what I get. I don't know it.
Say no
Boy, I
gas.
feel.
It just okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you
Sorry,
read that one there.
Sorry,
Read it.
Danai. Finish what you're saying.
I
Say
don't
not
know.
afraid. When I read that, when they say I'm gonna put a bag of money
No,
under something, because
no, I never say.
it's
I
so
never say put a bag of money. You know, I mean, a lot of people. I look at the stock market and everything is a risk, and so you take calculated risks. You understand? And so, whereas I would say, yo, take up house and land money or car money and throw it in our stock. Like, for, I am not that kind of person. Whatever it is that I
that's
put.
like me.
No,
You
yeah,
know,
well, I mean, if you probably have it, you can dash your car money at 5 million, and whether it work tomorrow or don't work, yeah, you're just like, all right then, you know. Me,
But
no.
hold on.
you know, you work. So you know, you work. So no, say
Yeah.
I'm speaking specifically about your gut feeling. The
Mhm.
amount
I
of money
mean,
you put in a
yeah,
stock.
there is a chance. There is a chance.
Me not try, not even $1 me I try to lose. So it can't. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to lose. Now, remember, no, I did say, read the reports, read the follow. You know, I do my research. I do my due diligence. You know, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of companies out there doing really, really well right now. I mean, just look at the reports that came out the other day. Are you going to now run and buy every single company? I made a list of what I want. Small things where I say, yo, nah, like, you know, like even at first the APO that's out now, Caprit. At first I was like, I initially I was like, you know what, I will do it a flip because I do that also. Something I buy as a flip and
So
things I buy what I
where you
really
got the
want.
table, Capri?
They tell me no.
Yeah, still go.
Yeah, I'm.
Brave. You're brave. Because you say, oh, you got that's something from losing money. And you don't understand that right now. You really
No, but that's what and that is also why I also said like a lot of times I've gone against my gut and it never work out. Now with this, as I say, I never plan to keep it, so I never put no whole heap of money in it anyway. So
With
if it come
KP
out and it
REITs?
drop, you know,
Oh, it.
we'll
And
see.
it's like a list before I think that before that.
Well, so I don't have no whole heap of money now, but we'll see. I guess with that, it was kind of the fear of missing out. I think
Oh
that
no, I'm
will
not
take me
saying anything
over
about everything. I frame everything around all I'm ever talking about here is that good feeling. That's the point I want to understand.
Oh yeah, well, not everything you have got feeling, brother. If it's a woman you go look, if it's a car you go buy, something in a you, what tell you say, yo, yes, this nice. I feel like this would be a fit for me.
And many people can tell you say that don't work when it go with car. It certainly don't work when it go with woman.
You know, man.
It don't work. It definitely doesn't. But at the same
Yeah,
time,
and a lot of women tell you say it don't work when it comes to us men either. I can tell you honestly that it don't work when it comes to the market. I like the way you're thinking. I'm always saying come to grow because that's where I teach my process. I think you have a process, but your process is dangerous. Here why? Like you got sometimes wrong, and sometimes you got right, but you ignore it. You need a process that. So here's the thing. I don't not gut feeling, and despite what you hear Dan I say, don't knock it either. But gut feeling should not be or can change it or make whatever, right?
no.
So I can tell you, like for in Dollar case, I mean, people always asking me about IPOs, especially before them come road, right? So people talking to me about Dollar from long before. I don't know. Sometimes I feel good, sometimes I feel bad. I'm not so sure because I'm just looking external things. I don't have as much information. So my final is always, yo, when I see the prospectus, I can say what is what. When I saw the prospectus, I thought, funny, two things with the prospectus. When I saw it first, I did a quick glance when it came out. And I was like, okay, it looked nice. I didn't like the 12-month to 18-month thing, but I understand the chop. All right. And the 12-month looked good, growing strongly, right? When I did my proper read of the prospectus, I realized I had not looked at the first quarter numbers. The first quarter numbers on the back of the 12-month numbers is a different story, right? And then if you actually read the prospectus and you got deeper into certain things, you start to some dots that, as I said at the grow, I won't waste the people and money because they came and paid the money and we went through it together. So I want to give them the value that they got, allow them to keep it. But there's some dots that we went through there that I point out that give us clear timeline that you can watch and map against. And you see something like that, you see, it suddenly makes the gut secondary. So imagine my gut feeling at first was, I'm not so sure, and then it was good. And then the gut feeling at first glance was, all right, it's good, but it looked like a constructed good. But then when you do the proper read and carry through the proper process, I then had the gut now becomes secondary, and the gut changed because I now have more information on which I'm driving. It's a gut is the start, not the
Guys misunderstood. I never said that the gut was the first. Remember, I did say do the research, all of that, and
no man. We're
also
saying
like
that. No, we're saying that you're not saying that the gut is the
But I get
first.
what you're saying, and as I said also, like this is something that I taught myself. You understand? This wasn't something that was like a household thing growing up. You hear about stocks and this and that. It's something I merely just one year as a resolution. I said that, you know what, I am going to do this. And I will do it. I will sit down, I will do my research. I ask my virgin name or have a little group who is to his investment advisors, and I just go and start ask questions. Anything when I read and I don't understand, I ask questions. So I am open to learn. I am still learning. I've made some good decisions, is what I'm finding out, because I have a couple virgins, and when everything happened one day and everybody was saying, yo, them in red, I was like, yo, but I'm still kind of in at the green still. You know, whole heap up, but, and then I say, oh, I say, like, I
The
sit and
professionals that say how.
I sit and I watch the market like me is like I am a broker. Like every day, I wake up, I am abroad, so that there is a time difference. Opens. I am in a few Telegram groups. I follow. I basically this Twitter is only to follow persons in finance.
Yeah, man, and I'm not knocking that, but I want you to get here is the point that we're making. When I said that you actually have got at the end or the start, you have it at the end. And we're saying it should be at the start, not the end. Yeah, man. And I'm not knocking your process. Everybody start off this way, so it's good. I love that you're doing it, but trust me, like when you do grow, and you will understand why I'm saying what I'm saying about firming up the process. The thing move away from guessing. There is no question. There is no, like, it is a clear thing. The market stops being a surprise. It stops being a boy, I don't know. You hear then I say we don't really talk about the market, because when we say the market, we truly are talking macro, because the portfolio is not down. That don't happen, and if it happens, there are steps that you take. There are things you do. There's no accident. There's no there. Trust me, I don't want to oversell it, but I like that you have it already, and I like that you walk in the same road that a holy powers walk. Nobody never did it for teach you, so we have to teach yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, as I said, definitely respect and I mean, big up to you guys for doing this. I mean, just just giving the basics and having a forum like this where we can ask questions and get answers. Like, big up a million for that.
Yeah, man, no, big up and thank you for participating. So big up,
big up.
Yeah, man, no problem.
All right. Next in line we had, unless you had a point you're making,
caller.
Yeah, next caller. The next person was I think is Dangles. No, or is it Jordan? No, it's Jordan Henry and then Dangles. Honestly, not sure. It's going to be Dangles actually, because he came in when we were talking about crypto. I remember that. He or she.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, you hearing me?
Yeah, man, we're hearing you. Evening.
Okay, yeah, man. I'm here answering the crypto call. if the profile pic wasn't a giveaway.
Oh no, it was. What's going on?
I'm doing all right, you know. You have to look at the cup as half full and not half empty. As you guys are well aware, 6 months ago versus now is two completely different times.
For what, crypto or the local market?
US and crypto. So I am overseas, and the reason why I put up mine is because you specifically mentioned, like, you know, like with this IPO getting such a big buzz and the downturn overseas and with crypto in general, you know, if some of the crypto people would, you know, make a track back. Well, I never did leave. It's just, you know, this wasn't my priority. Cause when the big uptrend are going, and you know, the crypto space is one that is, when we say move fast, Virgin, move fast.
Indeed.
So if anybody listening is interested, and I am no financial advisor, but as a yard man, when you grow up in a certain environment and you understand the value of money, you have to set up your thing with a certain structure, and you don't want to take certain risks unnecessarily. So prior to me even thinking about doing anything with crypto, made sure I had an emergency fund for a few months. Yeah, fortunate position to be being in the States. I can work overtime and also extra and, you know, stack up. And, you know, you do your traditional investing first. So I open my Jamaican account, I open my American account, 401k, the regular stuff.
The typical,
when I fund them thing, then I say, all right, you know what? I can dabble in this. I've been hearing about this thing for the longest while, and let me just buy. December 2017, I buy when Bitcoin was at 19,000. And 2018 was like a 85% correction.
Remember that, Randy?
Yeah,
that was the year people screaming crypto at us. That was the year, 2017, man.
2017 was the year Kathy Wood them was buying Ethereum for $4, and Ethereum went to 1,200 US. So all who never catch the train that time there, them say, yo, if this thing run again, you know, it not missing me. Well, me did catch the train right as it peak, and of course never sell the top and watch everything go back down to, well, not go back down to, it went down to minus 90.
Minus 90. And just to bring everybody up to speed, I remember we have a web of you listening, we don't know this thing. So the Kathy Wood he's talking about is like, think of her like a John Jackson of the US. She like how John Jackson has QWI, or Chris Berry had, I wouldn't put her in the Chris Berry category, but in the same sort of thinking. So like how John Jackson have QWI, Chris Berry have MJE, Kathy Wood has ARK Invest, and ARK Invest buys quite a few things, invests in a lot of markets, including the crypto market. She has an ETF, an exchange traded fund, an actively managed ETF. Bringing everybody up to speed. So tell me something. You say you bought right near the peak.
Kathy Wood is all about aggressive plays for 5 to 10 years with I think the target for her fund is to do 100% in 5 years. So her goal is straight, aggressive 5 to 10 year plays, like future market movers that are just out to disrupt the industries that they operate in now, or the new industries that are being created in. So all that to say, crypto is going to be a part of the future. We don't know to what extent, but what we do know is that the amount of investment that has been done since 2012 till now is only increasing, and you have legitimate people like Ray Dalio saying, yo, you know, you don't, because this thing is so small in the grand scheme of things that if you put 1% of your net worth in this thing and it hit the right way, you're set.
Yeah, but
so if you're going there with the intention of, oh, yo, I have $100 and let me put $50 in it because I saw a TikTok or something online, like, trust me, you're gonna get wrecked so quickly. So what I was saying earlier is, just set up that foundation first before you even think about dabbling into this world, because it's next level. 24/7 markets, that means it's not like JSE, you log on is what, 8:30 or 9:30?
9:30.
9:30 to 1 o'clock, boom, you can only trade in that window. Here, crypto, 24/7. So if you have alert set on your phone or email and you have a stop loss, you have a stop loss set on, market don't stop after 4 hours. Market going the whole day. So level. But yeah, I have been in the market, Jamaica market, but definitely with crypto being that time consuming, you're right. It is very time consuming. So it's harder to juggle. And then, I was more in the growth, the tech stocks in America. So that's a next hit to my portfolio. Like, it is red. It's red.
Yeah, brother. I feel it for you.
The worst start to the...
Here's what. You see on the US market, they tend to use, I found that they tend to use Microsoft, Google, and Apple as a safe home. And then you dabble in other things, you come back to home. Yeah, man.
Savings account, that, man. Apple, Microsoft, just put the money in and go sleep. So
and you wake up.
All right. So
So tell me something. Be willing to come back to bring your money back and recover in the Jamaican market?
I have a portion of my portfolios there. For the most part, what I will say is I'm comfortable with my level of diversification.
All right, so it's not like you're reallocating right now.
No, I really
what's in crypto? What's in crypto staying in crypto for now?
What's what?
What you have in crypto is staying in crypto, basically.
Yeah. So in crypto there's a coin, and this is one of many, called a stable coin. So when crypto crash, let's say your coin is like number 100, and Bitcoin and Ethereum, people, them two there, if I had $100, again, not financial advice,
definitely not.
Look at, and I'm gonna compare it to the local market. Bitcoin would be like a Grace Kennedy, your OG, like day one, been in the business, not going anywhere, like nothing can destroy that. At this point, it's proven. Like,
except for the U.S. government or the Chinese government, but continue.
Well, that is to be seen, because they
they're not. They have not tried. They have not tried. They have not tried. Some have said that what's happening now is the try, and it was manufactured, is what is being said in some circles. And
right.
Tumble started from a stable
it may have reached a level now where them say, you know what, since we know we can't stop it, how about we push things the way we want it to, so we can accumulate and we can regulate and we can strangle out. And
right, watch me. Let me be a little less.
For doing that.
Yeah, let me be a little less tinfoil hat with it. The power of currency is belief. Exactly. The danger of crypto is that the longer it's left and people are seeing it and it continues to bubble and bubble and bubble in the way it has been bubbling, it will gain trust and belief. And so crashes like what are happening now are no surprise to me. I'll put back on my tinfoil hat, because it is what I expect to disrupt that system, because you cannot allow that system to gain trust, which is why I don't touch it, because I am I know a lot of people about to go, I am an intrinsic value kind of guy. I need to be able to state what the intrinsic value of everything. No, I understand crypto very, very well now. Because once I started to realize that, you know what the real intrinsic value of crypto is? Belief.
The people and the tech.
Belief of nerds, not the tech. It's not the tech.
It's not the tech. It's not the tech. My issue with thing there, in fact, bro, the tech is so easy. It's not funny. I don't know why
the copying and pasting of the tech. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, the tech is
the
not
tech
the
itself.
thing.
The tech itself is not novel. It really is not.
Yeah, the power of a currency is belief. It's not the tech. Anybody can write on paper, but when the government writes on paper and tell you that it's $100, the fact that all of us believe that it's $100, that is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
I used to be against crypto Bitcoin because my thought behind it was it's an asset, so it must have whatever. And then very quickly, it's not a business or whatever. It's money. That's
There is no quarterly reports to look at and say, this, that, and the other.
And that's fine. That's fine. If you're tracking the right thing, you think there. Yeah. In fact,
so this is next level.
If I were to take a Bitcoin bet with the level of knowledge I have now, not Bitcoin only, crypto, it would have to be on thing there. It would have to probably be a long-term bet.
Oh, definitely. So what I will say is anybody who buy Bitcoin in the last 6 months to a year, 80% chance it in the red.
Yeah.
This is not a jump in this week and jump out next month game. You cannot out trade these people. They have hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in algorithms and them high frequency trading things set up to just do them thing. This is I have XYZ set up here. I don't need this money for like a year or more, and I'm willing for it get chopped to half or even worse. Knowing that 3 to 4 years from now, I will log into that account and see a minimum of 2, 3, 4, 5x, which doesn't matter on paper if you don't hit sell.
No, it matters. You lose me at the end there. The dip matters if whether or not you hit sell. You realize the loss once you're at loss, yeah, man.
You have to realize the profit, man. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, don't come.
No, that's funny. One, because you're a crypto guy. That's less real to you, because you're talking about the value of something being determined by its value in the other currency, which Bitcoin is very much against.
Oh, all right, yeah. So that's a different level. Again, in the portfolio, you have split. So the Bitcoin part of the stock, you don't want to be selling that. You want to keep the Bitcoin part of the stock.
If you want US, you want. If you want USD, you want USD. Whatever you want from it. If you want actual cash, then sure.
Yes.
The value of it is not determined by whether or not you convert it to cash. The value is the value.
All right. Yeah. Must say that. Yeah.
You have things that's like saying Elon Musk isn't worth that because him never sell the shares and cash in on the value. You know it works.
So even speaking of same Elon, using the same low allocation example, Tesla market cap today is a little lower than it used to be.
A little?
Maybe 800 billion, right?
When you say a little lower, what do you mean?
A little being sarcastic, because Tesla was trading at 1,200 a few months ago. So
there we go.
Yeah, great time to. Well, I shouldn't say great time to enter because you never know. But considering where it was, it might not be a bad time to dip your toes, especially if that stock split comes through for the vote in the summer.
And if I think what happens is Elon needs to. Elon has brought a lot of what has pushed not Tesla. I started to get very good
Saturday Night Live thing was huge. Like I was like, oh, this is bad, but the average person who again is looking at TikTok and just, let me YOLO my life savings. Like, we don't want this.
You know what I don't like? I don't like that. I don't like we're talking as if somebody didn't make a decision on the basis that they decided it was okay.
I mean,
you decide for this to Elon Musk, you know. That's on you. I think you literally choose who you listen to.
Each their own. Everybody is grown, but as a small space in the grand scheme of things.
All right.
And somebody that is
same
concerned.
ball game. That's cool. Same ball
somebody
game.
that is concerned.
So you think that thing is bad, but you don't want regulators to take it away?
No, man, it is bad, and regulation is needed.
So what I'm saying.
But who's going to regulate it? Regulation, centralization.
Yes.
You see?
So when somebody say, again, the same social media gimmicks, and people, there's so many scams, like, I mean, I think I understand, like, to have Brick Talk for free every week, yo, levels, big respect for you guys for all the work that's going into this.
I think me and Randy understand.
Yeah, man, but I'm saying, like, here in the US market, when them done set up them scam program, and you know,
and you know the funny thing is,
you don't learn a thing, but you spend a couple $100. Well,
the funny thing is, you're right, and I usually don't address it, but I will address it. You're right, that's a big deal that Danai and I do this every week, especially Danai now, because Danai charges for this. He don't have to do it. I certainly don't have to do it, and people don't know because we don't publicize a lot of the blowback that we get professionally. People say all kind of things. I'll give you an example. We won't use ourselves. Look at a lot of the. I don't know if you saw when Chris Berry had done his tweet about Elite. Look at a lot of the reactions.
That one missed me.
Yeah, he was just saying, you know, he spoke about something that was in the news. A director buying into Elite and saying, if you know what I know, or something along those lines, buy before I buy, right? And the reaction to that was like, you know, he's done something terrible, he's done something bad, and I'm pointing that out because Dan and I come on and we talk every week and we're very responsive, very careful. Yet you would not believe the things that people say that we don't do, and tie all kind of things to it. If you think about what we're doing, like if you might be relatively new. It's from earnings season. Like we have been vilified for picking a stock before it go up, buying the stock with our actual money, the stock go up, and that is an evil thing. No, and we also talk about it and we say that what we've done, we say that we've bought it and we say why we've bought it, and that is looked on as a bad thing in some quarters by some people. And I can tell you, the longer we do this, I speak for myself here, the longer I do this, the more it's hard on me to justify having to expose myself to something like that when I don't have to do it. It's hard all the time, brother, because you're not doing anything wrong and you are doing something for free. Do note, there are 15 brokers in Jamaica. All of them employ multiple people. So there are hundreds of people working in the equity space in Jamaica. And only very, very few of them put things out freely, and very few of them speak this sensibly and this clearly and this openly to the public. And very few of them, here's the hard part, here's a clincher, very few of them say sensible things that actually happen. That it is a low barrier to entry, at least to me, it seemed like. You're doing, and you have to understand that getting it wrong part of it. The thing that sets us apart is that a lot of people are afraid to get things wrong. We're not afraid to get things wrong.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it more than everybody, but yeah, people. I mean, I understand from my client's perspective, getting it wrong is a big deal, right? But that's generally, so I'm not talking about getting it wrong in terms of stock. I'm talking about getting it wrong overall. I'm looking at this thing and I have thoughts on it, and that's maybe not the reality, and I can be wrong about it. 'Cause and that's a platform now for me to learn something. You know, work so. Right? That's the kind of yet to be defined. And it's typically it's not. I don't think of it as a thing. I don't think of it as a profession or a person. I think of it just generally as people. And it's the kind of thing you have to get away from if you're looking at this space any at all.
Yeah.
Fight human nature.
Yeah, and it's rough when you hear people that, like, literally, imagine you get up tomorrow and say, you know, my drive around Kingston and feed the homeless. And you come in, you hear somebody say, you know, send that drive around Kingston and a poison people. And you think, what? It's a weird thing.
Like setting up Telegram groups and that's like security in this space, people. You see that NCB data, well, not data breach, the scam, the phishing scam
attacks,
like that is in like crypto world.
Oh yeah. Any which way you can get that. Come on.
I personally have
every
had
scam to it, you know.
I personally have had to change my phone number because of crypto, because somebody was trying to change. Well, they didn't try. They actually succeeded in changing the PIN to my AT&T account.
Wow.
So when me said that, I said, all right, here we go. New number, ASAP. Change every email address. Change every password. Change every two-factor app. Yeah, Google two-factor authentication is a must if you're going to use crypto.
Agreed.
And if you get any email, look at the link before you click it. Look at the URL or look at the actual email address. If that don't look legit, don't click it. You don't need it. And again, it's not specific to crypto card. This is now happening with people doing. Losing money on the market is one thing, but for lose it to a scammer, no,
to a thief.
No, brother, no.
Yeah, but tell me something. With all of that, it not easy. You just bring the little money, come back on the JC, brother.
No, man. Leaving it in USDC, getting some interest on that for now on until them come regulate that.
But then, all right, think about this. All right, like you hear people, you're talking about dollar. You don't know where dollar will go yet, and maybe somebody come on later on. I don't want to push too many of the conversations into one thing because I want to leave room for anybody who have questions and so on. But let's say that dollar, very, very, very conservative, is going to give 32%. You don't want to recover 32%.
Yeah, the funds are already and waiting.
And you have some dead, like if you got into crypto once, you'll be able to go back into it later. Why not come out, go into something that will help you recover, and then
go back when you're more sure.
And then go back when you're sure.
Yeah, that's technically the strategy. Economy said no. I am about 75% in cash on my crypto port side. So that funds is ready, waiting to deploy event of a next big red candle. Man, I talk, we move up 2% or we went down 2%. Me, I talk a big 30, 25% drop when people really are panic. That's the time I plan to say, okay, book, buy.
You think that's going to happen again? You think that isn't happening now?
Right now, these dips are the volumes are too low for me to be fearful. I like what happened already. Yes, we're down 50, 60%. All right, big deal. More, I'm ready. If we go up again, good news. Either way, I'm ready. Been in it 4 years, -90, and go back up. Like crazy hundreds of percent. So I'm not scared for say -20, -30.
But then you know take a sure thing. And by the way, people to recover from a
Yes,
lose
that
50%.
chart came to mind as you start talk.
Yeah, man. You lose 50%. You need something that will grow 100% to get back to where you started.
Right.
So imagine you're going to crypto looking 50% gain. If you lose 50%, you have to find something else that will grow or stay in the thing and it grow 100%. And it grow 100%, you're back just where you started. You haven't reached to the original goal yet. So
and let me tie that back to something I said earlier, and then I'm gonna make one more point and jump off because the time I run. So Elon Musk, richest man in the world, right? CEO of a company worth $800 billion now. Probably it did pass $1 trillion. He only invested $1.5 billion in Bitcoin.
Can you imagine that?
He only did 1.5 billion.
You know what I'm imagining? That 2022 black, I'm assuming you're black, Jamaican men are able to say only $1 billion.
Yeah, because in the US markets and then transition into crypto world. Crypto world is so small.
Yes, that is true.
It's such a huge risk that these people are taking. Like none of this is for certain.
Not really. That's why I say that Elon is different, because after a certain level of scale, it's no longer, the risk is not the same. So he knows that. That's why he knew that talking about Doge on Saturday Night Live alone will naturally create such a rise that I will naturally a much better uplift. I think that's what he's
liquidity,
doing.
They call us mere mortals on the Twitter spaces. Like the majority Twitter is for crypto.
Yeah.
So they will say, "Oh yeah, where the exit liquidity? Like, oh, all the venture capital firms put in their 100 million and turn it into 10 billion, and you feel happy. Oh, I got 100 shares of this coin. Like, okay."
Yeah. You know what? I'm not knocking that, because whatever you get in profit, that matters. But I'm glad for the points. I'll tell you, try the local market. If it's even just a recovery point, I think you might be surprised over the next few quarters.
And this going me to the last point. I was trying to relate some of the crypto quote blue chips to the Jamaican market.
Okay.
So Bitcoin, I was saying, is just for the comparison's sake, your Grace Kennedy. They've been doing this like from the get-go, the OG, them go through Gilbert, them go through Charlie, them go through Independence, like, yeah. So Bitcoin go through like 09 housing. Well, it was born after the 09 crisis, but you know, it go through COVID, it go through how much stress test, because within the market itself, there's been several, you know, severe corrections. Like it's the most battle tested. Ethereum, which is the second biggest cryptocurrency, it's younger technology. So if Bitcoin is Grace, then Ethereum would be like our Cinco. I'm gonna try to use similar stocks. So in the same field, but both of them not going anywhere. It's just that, you know, one debut from what we kill Philo and one is around. I don't know how old Wysinko is, but Wysinko in my head, especially in terms of being listed on the market, is a newer company. So
it is. It listed in 2017. It was one of the biggest.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest IPOs.
Yeah.
At the time.
So doing the whole segments of portfolio thing, you know, after you have your emergency fund, after you have your regular stock account, after you sort out and you say, oh, I have money leave over, I want to invest a small in this. This is a hypothetical crypto portfolio. Your Bitcoin, aka your Grace, your blue chip, if it drop, you buy more, go sleep. There's no stress. Ethereum, similar story. It's going to be more volatile. COVID, I'm sure we think it drop more than Grace. and you probably was able to make a little more money from like a quick trade and Wisynco, that's your Ethereum. It's going to be more risk, more reward because it's a smaller. Huh?
Zinco drop good, man.
Yeah, I distinctly remember getting, I think it was like $12 or $13 I got Wisynco for during COVID crash and sell it at like 18 or 19, like within a month.
Well, you try that kind of thing on the local market?
Well, at the time I was paying attention and I was like, yeah, this too good for pass up. So, so Bitcoin, Grace, Ethereum, Wisynco. If I had $100, I'd put 50 in Bitcoin, 25 in ETH. So the next 25, that is where the real money gets made and the real pain occurs. Those are your Terra Lunas that are the one that blow up this week. Those are your Doge coins. Those are your Shiba Inus. Those are your Polkadot, Solana.
Which JSE stocks are those?
These are your very, very small market cap junior market stocks. Probably with I can't say names because I'm not that familiar, but whichever one have like the least liquidity. Yeah, let's say something in the crypto world, those tokens, because the market cap is so small, all it takes is one person with a substantial amount of money and bloop, you're after the races, your account balance changed drastically. Well, guess what? There's not enough people putting in orders at the when you see that number and you're trying to hit sell, like, oh yeah, order. If it's a big enough exchange, the order will fail. But if there's just not enough buys, there's not enough buys. And yeah, you might see a big number, but you might not be able to realize that profit.
You are working so hard, so much harder than you need to. Like the level of work you're putting in for these crypto, you could get so much more value for it on the local market because you already, I can hear you have enough of the thinking. Yeah, you're sharing your I like that you're sharing your investment strategy with us. But I would tell you just put in some more in the local market because it could, if it's e-cover, you might be surprised by what you can do here, and it is a lot simpler, a lot closer to cash, and a lot more predictable and a lot more reliable, I think.
Yeah, I will say what can happen with the Dolla IPO when it launches. It's gonna be a wild time. So we'll see if I have any luck. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on crypto. People just don't go in it expecting it to be easy. Make sure you have a little emergency funds because it's not guaranteed that you're going to realize those gains. And do break it down into the heavier weighting should be in the bigger, more safe assets, being Bitcoin and Ethereum. Anything else, yeah, quick and fast, in and out.
All right. Well, big up. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, man, and give thanks again for what you guys doing.
Yeah, man. Big up.
All right, cool.
Danai, before we jump to Jordan Henry, I don't know. There's just been a
billion chase Dolla IPO.
Yeah, some 10 billion is said to have chased after the 500 million shares at $1 each. John Jackson is Mr. Chatter in the market, chatter in the street. So I don't know where to get the 10 billion from, but it's out there. Maybe we'll see a correction soon, but I haven't seen anybody else say this, and it just came out right now. So I'm assuming he would have seen everybody else saying, apologies, everybody else saying 5 bill. For him to say 10, like that is not a typo, you know. I don't think he knows somebody named 10 billion. That's why I'm writing it. 10 billion is a big number for him to put out there. Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I
That
somebody say I
allocation.
keep throwing shade. Oh, the allocation. Somebody say I keep throwing. Somebody on YouTube say I keep throwing shade. I'm not really throwing shade.
That's a good joke.
It's just a good joke. That's how it's David. I mean, big up David. He certainly puts energy into the market. I will praise him for that and continue to. But that was just a funny thing, you know. David, him not take the wrong, especially if him wrong, brother. Him have a friend named wrong. That's why he said wrong. Anyway, this 10 billion that's like another story, huh?
So we found money.
yeah. I asked my JC and they found another 5 billion. Approximately 8% of which I applied if over 40,000 shares. So him even go ahead and do him own kind of allocation. 40,000 units. I wonder where him get that from. I wish John Jackson used Twitter openly. I'd love for him to come on and talk about this. Yeah. Why he chose this? What chatter in the market made him go for? Cause that's who picks 40,000. Who picks 40,000?
For something like this, I'm more going 10 or 1.
Yeah. Who picks 40,000 as a base blindly and 8% above? Or 8%. Well, that's no.
40,000, 8 above thing there.
Not 8 above.
40,000 shares. Above. Why 40,000?
Yeah. He said that this could mean that each applicant may end up with an average of approximately 8% of which they applied if over 40,000 shares. So the wording there is kind of iffy. I don't know if he means that you would
40,000 shares per person, 10,000 people. So that's what.
It could be like 40,000 as a base. Jesus. It could be 40,000 as a base and then 2% above the base.
Above.
Yeah. Or it could be.
It's 8, right? It's 8, correct?
How much I don't know. He said 8, you know.
Him said 10,000. Him said 10,000 people.
Yes. I'm saying
so 40,000 shares,
people.
10,000 people. That's 400 million, you know. That means 100 million are left to be allocated via percentage. I don't think that's 40,000. I don't think that's 8%.
I don't think he's doing what we did, the straight line.
Oh, no, but I don't know if that's. I'll have to proofread it.
No.
I don't. The math not hitting me right there, so at all.
So here's what I'm. No, go ahead, finish. I know you don't.
If everybody if 10 people get 40,000 shares each, then assuming it's not going to be yes, the people. I'm excluding the fact that people apply for less than 10,000. So that's less than 40,000 shares, right? That's if everybody get 40,000 shares as a minimum application that was made. $100 million between 9.6 billion. Would that be 8%?
Okay.
Would that be 8?
I don't think it would be 8.
So 100 million to 9.6 billion.
That's why I'm saying look on does it work back for you?
I'm checking.
I don't think so. The fact that it doesn't match back and he's not using the same round numbers that everybody would use. Thing to use. So I'm wondering if he has some chatter in the market info to use this, right? Like, because also, because also,
I'm saying
the thing was digital. It's a digital application. I don't think they're counting paper applications. It's not like they don't really know. They know from before today. They knew what they had from before today. All they would have to do is count the stuff from today.
What more?
Yeah,
and that's typically what happens.
Yeah, and the fact that this came out now, this time of night. I mean, by now the
it's on a count go on, like a voting time, you know, counting go on.
A preliminary
count go on. He getting a number from a well-informed source himself.
No, he never said anything like that. I am.
You sure?
Oh, I'm sorry. He did say that. He said has been advised by persons who would be in a place to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's on like a 40,000 base.
I'm wondering if it was his 40,000 or theirs, because 8 can be possible. It's near enough, right? 100 million going to thing there, 9.6 bill.
Put in for $1 million, they take out the 40,000, and then you get in 8 ahead of that. So you would end up with, in total, 116,800 shares if you applied for $1 million. And this works out to be what the basis is, 40 and 8. Huh. If this works out with the allocation.
Wait, that's somebody saying something. I'm not sure how right that is.
What you see somebody saying? Tell me, because I'm not.
He said, you mean that those who apply for 40,000 or more will get 8% overall? Oh, yes, that's already right. But then why choose 40,000?
Okay.
That's what Randy was asking.
Why?
So
Yeah,
yes, why speak of above 40,000 unless you're thinking that 40,000 will be the base allocation? You get me?
Yeah.
I reading, so yeah. I was talking to myself there. But yeah, end of the day, yeah. That's interesting. 40,000. Am I okay with that?
I'm wondering.
Abridging tell me say they should go straight percentage, and I say you're talking as a rich man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, see, but hold on, pause. No. Let's not overthink this. The paragraph. 8% of what you applied for, if over 40,000 shares, is a base of 40,000, and 8. That this paragraph,
this paragraph would make sense
that's what
otherwise.
this means. Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you applied for less than 40,000 shares, I think you just get the first 40,000. I'm assuming here. I'm assuming that it's a 40,000 base. So it's just like how some companies might have a 10,000 base.
Yes, that's what I was saying. That's either choose 10 or 1. If I can choose 40, it's very odd. So I'm wondering if it's his number or the sources.
I'm taking all of this as a source. I'm taking this as somebody pinch John Jackson and say to him, as he said, been advised by persons who would be in a place to know, and he's a very deliberate speaker. So I am reading this as 40,000 base, 8% above that is what you get. So again, we don't know. This is on IC Insider, and anything on IC Insider I attribute to John Jackson. And you just saw me work out what it would be, just as an example, with $1 million. So if somebody applied with $1 million, you would get, if this is correct, you would get about 116,800, 117, or maybe it's a little low. It's about 8%, so it could be 7.65.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Or maybe more than 8, however it works.
Wow. And 10 billion.
Wait, odd man, because it almost don't make sense. I'm not sure how 8 would have come into it. 40,000 again, 10,000. You'd have to have a lot of people applying for way less than 40,000.
But there are a lot of people that are coming to the market. No, so that's perfectly fine.
But even then, it still wouldn't fly because 100 mil going to 9.6, that's almost 1%. So basically, if everybody gets 40,000 at base, say everybody applies at 40,000 minimum, everybody go minimum 40,000, and everybody gets that, right? So 40,000 up, you actually get it.
But then if you applied, that means that if you applied for less, if you know that a lot of people applied for less than 40K,
that's fine.
Then they get everything that they wanted.
Yes, definitely. But
so even then there's some room in the 40,000.
It's not. Yes, that's 40,000 is fine. The space for me, I'm not seeing 8% of a possibility.
I am.
It can be 40,000 and 8% above that.
Why not?
Because if you raise 10 billion, then even at base there, you put in the money you raised is what? 500 million into thing there, into 10 billion. I know that's an easy number. That's not good at easy math. That's 5%. So if you were to the strongest percentage you ever get is if I was to apply it as a percentage. So you get a percentage where you apply for across the board, right? If you were to do that, then that's the strongest percentage you'd ever get. If you apply a base plus a percentage above, then the percentage will be below that. That's 5% if everybody get what they want to get. So I don't see a space for 8 billion. If you put a thing there. 8% if you put a cap, if you put a thing there, if you put
40,000 base.
Yeah.
But suppose the majority of the applications were.
That's fine.
Suppose the majority of the applications were 10,000 or 11,000.
Yeah, that's fine. It's even then.
Even then what?
Because the greater against the percentage of your application above the limit cannot be greater than just dividing the amount collected by the amount asked for.
Yes, it can, because you're making the mistake you're making here is you're assuming evenness to the application.
I'm not.
All right,
I'm not.
Help me. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me tell you what I'm thinking first. I want to say this because I know I'm going to forget this. I'm pausing all of this point because somebody was kind of to DM me and point out that the King of Microfinance thing was a throwback to the Buzz article which came out a couple of weeks ago. So that's where the whole Mayberry thing came from. So I don't want it to I don't want to forget that point because I wanted to say it. So that's where this thing came from. So Money mirrors himself. All right. Back to this 40,000 thing. Here's what I'm thinking. Remember that they are allocating. No, I am not assuming a fairness of application. I'm assuming okay, we have X amount of people that we already decide that only need to get this much here, right? And based on this set of maybe a reserve people, for you to get, for XYZ to get the minimum that we want you to get, how can we work it with everybody else? And so to get that, okay, for you to get that, you need to get at least 8%. And what 8% look like for the not the modal. What does it look like for the modal applicants? The modal applicants would have to brush it up to maybe 38,000. All right, so we'll call it 40,000 and 8% above. And so everybody get it. And then everybody here, meaning my money people who have already agreed with, are going to get this based on that allocation. And 40,000 at 8% also allows everybody else to get something. But the truth is, it's this set of people that I was thinking about when I did it. Remember, again, it's not necessarily a fair allocation.
That works at 5 billion. At 10. So what I'm saying is, all right. So when I say you have a base allocation, right?
Well, suppose one man give 9 billion. Suppose one man give 9.9 billion and everybody else in the other 100. Or one man give 9.5 billion.
That's fine. His thing will still count. He wouldn't get 8% if we were to do that. So I give 9 billion, and
that's true.
Because 8% in there, 5% is the highest it can go with that percentage. And that's if I just get everybody a percentage of them also. If I put a base into it, then it gets smaller. At 5 billion, it can go on. So I don't know if maybe in here.
Or you know here. What? I think we're assigning a different meaning to the
I think so too. It can be read. I'm assuming it is read as I'm assuming how he's reading it is thinking, because how it is read isn't that interpretation at all.
You're correct. You're correct. I was incorrect.
An average of 8%. You know what I'm saying? It's an average of if they applied over 40,000 shares, you would then count. At that point you start counting the thing there. You would have to count the thing there. And you don't actually have to have the 40,000 as a base allocation. You could have 10,000, and but if I apply for 40,000, then around 8% would be my thing there, based on whatever. You just however it flicks.
I think that the 10 billion. I think the 10 billion, and again, just let's be clear for everybody listening and watching, complete conjecture. I think that the 10 billion could be a comment made like, yeah, we also had a 5 billion fund that said we're applying, a 15 billion fund that said they're applying that, but we talk to them and say, listen, no, it don't make sense, so you're not getting it. But I'm telling you, John Jackson, that if If you add that 5 billion in plus the 5 billion from everybody else, is 10 billion did chase after the market. All right?
Makes
and
sense.
So you have that. So then ignore the 10 billion and just look at this section here. I would not be surprised if the allocation news that comes out next week, this weekend, maybe if they move fast, if VM want to be impressive, I would not be surprised if the allocation news is 40,000 base, 7 point something ahead of it. Now, does it work at 5 billion?
It can.
Yes.
If enough people, because a good amount of people think there, a good amount of people are less than think there too. Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
it works at
really
5
well.
billion. It works almost exactly at 5 billion. John Jackson chatter in the street, wicked enough. John Jackson, tell us something. I know somebody's going to share this video. When is summer? When is summer? I can't understand. I would not be surprised. So I'm choosing. This is the lie I'm choosing to believe this weekend.
That is 5 bill. 5 bill going and 40,000 thing there. Me too.
40,000 base, 7 point odd. Let me be conservative. 7.5% allocation on above a 40,000 base. So if somebody applied at 100,000 for 100,000 units, they are going to end up getting 44,500.
That actually feels nice for the low. That feels great for the low allocation people.
44, 45, yeah.
If you go in million, how much you get? It starts to feel ugly.
113,000.
Yeah, that's
and this is me at 7.62, right? So that as rounding up. So if we go 8%, like he says, well, he says approximately. So that's why I went 7.62. Even at 8%, you're looking at 116.
You know what I wonder?
800. What's that?
How much money came in after 9 o'clock?
Probably 5 billion. I am happy to see the young people doing this. I see Tyrone tweeted out that how happy he is to see the young CEOs in the market.
Yeah, man. Trust me, I love it, man.
Yeah, I love to see that there's a true sea change happening in Jamaica, both at the top end, and I'm happy that the top end now is following the retail section of the market. I'm happy that we're starting to see that now. I wanted to share.
Retail money, nice.
Yeah, man. I wanted to share his tweet, but of course, immediately I can't find it.
I see somebody in the YouTube comments. Steph, apparently Kadim said at SOTR, it's a 5 bill.
Kadim?
Who friend that?
Who is? What did he say?
It's 5 bill.
5 bill.
He said it's, yeah.
So I am ignoring all of this, but this 8 and 40 is not a random number.
It's all nice, man. It's all nice.
It's so nice. So I can believe this live for the weekend. It doesn't change anything. So it goes. Steph on YouTube said that's what was
corrected.
Said. Yeah, he corrected it. It was Kadim.
Say Kadim star.
It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay, Steph. We understand. I have a friend named Kadim also, and it's a common error.
Confusing me all the time.
All the time. Trust me. You would know it's like you need to join like a investment banking team. Sorry, the whole heap of talking we have. If you do want to talk to us, it's not just Dana and I screwing around. It's you guys also. So join us, send a speaking request on Twitter, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk. Thank you, Jordan Henry, for being so
for waiting.
Yeah, waiting while we talk. What's up?
Trust me, it's a joy hearing you guys talk still. So don't even mind that. Big up both Dana and Randy. Randy as of late, and that grower is ridiculous. If you guys ever have any spray phones or anything, you really want to get into stock, please link Randy. And Dana too. Big up yourself. Very quickly. I didn't want to really distract the dollar talk, but I wanted to go back to Mayberry because there was something I didn't really understand. We said a while ago, right, that with Mayberry, we said that Mayberry, I think it was the Jamaican Equities Limited was a subsidiary of Mayberry Investments.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So how is right? So I'm gonna say that Mayberry Investments had like you were saying like it was roughly about 60%. They own 60%. How is it that the two of them are listed? Because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I know that when one company owns shares in another, one can't be listed, or like the company who owns it can't be listed on the market, or
Not true. Not true.
no,
Not true at all.
No, not
Why?
true.
I know things like quick off Monday morning if that one.
Yeah, man. I think you're mishearing something I say at Grow. The junior market, on the junior market, one of the requirements for being listed on the junior market of the JSE is that you cannot be affiliated with, owned by, you can't be an associate or a subsidiary of any company
Main
listed on any stock market in the world. And I think that might have been part of what would have been behind, for example, Dolla being bought by First Rock Private Equity, which Ryan Reed made sure to point out is a private company within the First Rock group. Kind of like how Cygnus has a lot of other private companies within the group that aren't listed. And I would like to say like how GK might have, like GK Investments, which is separate.
Yeah. GK has, yeah. So Michael, GK doesn't have more than 20% or 20% or more of Spurtree, that kind of thing. Key Insurance graduated to the main market.
But was Key Insurance's graduation linked to the GK ownership, or was it linked to the the raise?
The capital.
I think it was the raise.
Was it both? I don't think both.
Because after you listed, a company can buy you, no?
No, because you have to maintain the thing there. You have to maintain minimum requirements for
you have
listing.
to maintain. Oh, word! Why didn't I click to me before? Or maybe it did and I forgot. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, just to answer your question, both Mayberry Investments Limited and MJE, they're both on the main market.
On the main market.
Yeah. So there's no conflict there. There's no restriction behind either.
A junior market company can own a substantial stake in another junior market company. Look at DTL and CFF. It does not know main market company. So them say main trading platform of any listed company globally, which means any main market company, whatever any market considers their main market, cannot have a 20% or more stake in a junior market company on the JSE.
Okay. All right, cool then. Understood. Thanks much.
No problem. Yeah. That was the only question?
Yeah, that was really my only question. I was following up with the Dolla convo, so that would be the only thing.
I'll ask two things. Yeah, how much of the 5 billion is yours?
Boy,
or the 10.
Really. Huh?
The 5 or the 10 billion 10. Is yours.
Yeah.
I say the man here 5 and say I never mind that. When you're 10 and say sounds like me.
Boy, I don't really know still. I'm hoping I get. I know I'm not gonna get what I applied for, but we'll see in the next couple of weeks coming to see. Right. But I did apply for I did put some money towards the IPO, so we'll see what
the IPO lock, so I can fully say I hope you applied, sir. I hope you applied.
Definitely. Yeah.
Here's a question I'll ask you first. No, I haven't asked anybody else this. What you plan to do with your refund?
Well, that's the thing. So now that I have a better understanding of the market, I think I'm just gonna take time and research. I'm looking forward to a session with Dana so I can clarify one and two things.
Just ask your advisor. Come on.
So I'm just doing research right now, and just to see which vehicle can take me to my goal. But yeah, so I'm just gonna just look back at the market and see. I don't really have any one stock that I'm particularly interested in, but that's because I haven't done enough research yet. So I'm just gonna look and see what I'm going.
But I would assume that having done Grow, you know my thoughts on putting your money into anything you haven't researched. So the fact that you bought into dollar tells me that you've done the research. Would you not put your money back into dollar? I notice you're not taking that as an option. You didn't even think. You didn't say, "Oh,
I
I'm buying
didn't
more
even.
dollar."
Yeah, it didn't even. It didn't even cross my mind. Like I literally, it didn't
That
cross my
tells
mind.
me
And now that you
something,
said
you
that,
know.
yeah.
That tells me
No?
something that didn't occur to you immediately to say, "Oh, I just buying more dollar."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thinking
and if you
about it
don't feel
now,
that,
yeah.
if you don't feel that way, how
The
you gonna
train,
feel?
the trainer left the station, man. Couple
Yeah.
more stops inside.
How you gonna feel buying
Yeah.
dollar at $1.76 on day 2?
How what? Say that
At
again.
$1.76 on day 2. How you gonna feel buying it?
I mean, I would definitely buy into it because I feel like
Well, I think that's actually a question, right?
No, I mean, well,
No.
is it?
Right. I think Randy does ask you a trick question.
What? No, I want to hear him answer for real though. I mean, I already made certain assumptions from the fact that it didn't occur to him that, oh, I'm putting more into it immediately. You get me? And then I'm now thinking, so when you see that bigger price in front of you, if it never occurred to you at the point where we are now, where you hear say heavily oversubscribed, let's say you put in $100,000, you are getting, let's say you put in $1 million, you are getting 116,000 units, assuming that this 8% is what we get above 40. With all I would just said, you're listening, you didn't say I'm going back into dollar. So I'm now thinking, if dollar wasn't immediately at the top of your mind right now when you just put the money in there and it is something you just hear us talking about, how comfortable are you going to be throwing money into it when it is 76% higher than it is now?
Sorry, repeat that last thing. You chipped out a while ago.
No, I heard Ian. How comfortable will you be putting money into it then when it is 76% higher in a few days?
I mean, the obvious answer would be, well, at least thinking about it now, the obvious answer would be to put back more money, well, at least attempt to buy more stocks into it. But that's the thing.
That's the obvious answer, but that's not the honest answer. You know how I feel about honesty itself.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, it all boils back to what are my goals are and what is it that I want to do with that money. And I would go back into it, but as I say, I want to have a better understanding of the market. So I don't want to say give a very visceral response and say, boy, yes, put back the money into dollar and see where it goes from there. I want a better understanding of other stocks as well to see where it is that I can also, put money into to kind of reach to where it is that I want to be.
All right.
So,
all right.
Two
things.
Yeah.
One is just so I don't forget it, and I'll actually feel like doing this. If somebody can tell me why I think that's a trick question that Randy asked, then I'll give them a grower class. I buy a grower ticket for them, and it can't be a grower card.
Yeah. You can't.
Jaja Danai, Jaja.
You can't. You have to come on and speak to us.
Oh yeah, you have to come on and say it.
Yeah.
And tell me why. Two, that thing you just said, Jordan. Let me say a cheat code. You don't have to find. You have to go through 100 stocks to find the best one for you. You have to be fairly confident that the one you chose or the one you have in front of you is going to do what you need it to do. So find your goal and say, all right, cool. If dollar can fit the goal, just using dollar for dollar's sake, if dollar can fit the goal, you don't have to go on a string of discovery to find every other thing that can fit the goal, right?
Okay.
Because finding another thing won't make you more sure of dollar. You're going to find another thing to be sure about. But you have to be sure about that next thing too. So maybe sometime what you can do, if you find the thing already and you think you're reasonably sure you'll do the thing you want to do, jump into it and go on with alternatives, sure. But don't make the search for alternatives stop you from making investment if the thing you're going in, if you think you already have in front of you is good enough for what you want from it.
Okay.
So yeah, it doesn't fully answer what you should be doing, but it gives you the whole. It avoids some of the hard work. Let me run down 50 other stocks to see if any of them work out. I've seen that so many times that it brings me back to the same thing. I was saying maybe this can be it. and I go open in a bag of reports and I say this guy do it, this guy do it, this guy do it, this guy do it. I mean, I probably should have sit in the one that I was neglecting.
Yeah, I get you. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much, gentlemen.
Big up,
Jordan.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Sir Piggles, the man that Fesco sent. What's up?
Well, that's a stage analytical break from my lesson. Three things. I went into the IPO. I don't know if I get through still. But waiting on the confirmation. It said submitted, and it seemed everything was fine. But the VM,
then you must get in then.
Edge something. My name, the Edge thing.
VM's portfolio.
VM's Edge platform, right? It was rather. It took like 5 minutes with everything. And I was like, "Wow, this is how banking can be." I am quite impressed. Anyway, a lot of people are going to react like the person that just spoke a while ago. I didn't get the stock, so I can't bother go back in. So that is just more for me to get. So I'm not mad about that. I'm not really mad about that. It's going to be a bloodbath though when the list. I feel I've sensed it already. It might be just as in terms of trying to get the stock. Persons getting and it's halting up. And for persons who don't know how to actually price their thing for pre-open, reference price, etc., blah blah. Yeah. But I'm just hoping people are willing to sell at about 130, 176. I don't mind buying there. If I can get the volume. It's early because I know it is going to fly. It is in the boat. It is in the, based on the response and everything. I definitely feel it's going to fly. And the financials and the as I said to you, I look at the management a lot and the persons who are on the board and persons who are around the particular company and stock and the persons who have that type of I guess the perception. A lot of the markets in Jamaica is about perception and who is on the board and who is in that, so that kind of gives it a little more credence to a person's running.
Let me pressure you. I don't know one person.
I don't know what I mean.
I don't know one person that does that.
Does what?
I hear the board talk. The guys that write reports and they say strong board and they talk about the experience of the board. I've never known one person that bought a stock. And probably I don't know, but I don't know one person that the be all end all the decision that I'm going to buy a stock higher after an IPO and all that came down to the board members. I've yet to hear it.
Well, I can only speak from my experience. One of the reasons why I was so heavily on a certain stock, which I'm not talking about, right, Pesco, is that I knew of the Jamaica retailers, petroleum retailers, person like Trevor Heaven and Hugh and Mr. Is it Graham?
You bought it after IPO?
Oh yeah.
You bought in the IPO and then you bought
after.
You try buy it. How soon after?
Right after. Literally right after.
So basically, so they say I know one person like that now. So I can't say I don't know anybody at all. Right.
But that's one of the for me the factors are looking at of course the other things in the universe that were happening, and again more things are happening in that particular universe. A new one opening, a new petroleum station is supposed to open soon. So I'm looking forward to the benefits of that. So yeah. Still trying to invest. I see Dip. I'm going back there Monday. It's an SVL Monday morning, isn't it? So we're going out. We're going out there with our skin in the game. Yeah. That's up.
All right. Big up. The man start back gambling now. Damn. The scratchers.
Don't talk too loud.
Let me not load it up. But the gain looks like it's there. We can have another SVL conversation.
The thing that a client said to me today, you really like gambling? Because you like SVL. And I said, no, I like SVL because I don't like gambling. Because I don't have to buy, but I can watch everybody else do it.
What the man play? The man play profit. That's what the man play. SVL it always wins. And so much exciting. Too many exciting things to come from it. All right, next up we have 3B Wolf, Jovel. and then
Yeah.
how are you doing, Jovel?
Sure, Jovel, what's going on?
I was answering the question that I asked earlier about why the question from Randy was a trick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Randy said was how he would feel about buying the stock at $1.76 on the second day. But the stock cannot trade at $1.76 on the second day. I think the highest that it can trade on that day is $1.74.
Yeah. So yes, I get a yes and no. It's 175. So you one thing there. So you're doing grow, sir? You want to grow?
I mean, I prefer session with you.
Oh no, I wasn't giving that away.
Yeah, you sharp. No, this is where you win.
The
This is where you
go
think through.
same
Yeah,
time.
this is where you sharp, right? I've said that I give away sessions, close sessions to Danai, to Danai, to the people who do grow. Not everybody does grow. So what happens is that the people who participate the most at each grow. So you just got a grow session, which would allow you to learn to do what we do. And
I did grow.
okay, but then you hear the man say a grow grads can't get it.
So you can't match up for everybody else now.
Oh,
It's not
Lord.
about the side one say no, you see, but it's alright.
Oh,
You match up for
Lord.
everybody else. So the price match up now. If we go find some other reason to give a grow, give it a grow.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find
So, yeah.
somebody else.
Now we have to find somebody else. You're a grower grad. The conditions were no grower grads.
No, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, well, everybody else heard it. I know everybody else heard the answer, so it's not going to work out well.
Yeah, well, that was it.
All right, boss. Bless up.
Right,
you have a question? Ask a question. No, man. Give me something. Ask a question, man. You can't come up with the dance.
Well, you know the two questions we'll ask everybody. How much of the 10 billion is yours?
I mean, at least 40,000.
Okay. Well done.
Good answer, sir. Good answer. Good answer.
Done.
Good answer.
Well done. So tell me something. You're getting. What are you doing with your refund?
I'll try to see if I can get some at $1.32.
Brave.
Okay. Yo, when them do grow in, brother. Sharp. What happens if you don't get to $1.32?
Try again the next day.
Word.
How
far?
I'm not.
Well, you could miss the next day. Can you go for 174?
Who knows? Somebody could be selling. Who knows? How comfortable are you? However, how comfortable are you? What's your point where you're gonna go? Okay, I'm not buying it at this price. What's your not for me price?
Not for me price. Not for me price is perhaps after that second day.
They give up easy.
Word.
Well, sorry. Well, not well. After the second day, as in, I mean, not more than $2.30 anytime soon.
Really?
Yeah. So it's
really okay. So what would you do with the money then?
Well, the truth is, this IPO was supposed to be a little in and out type of thing. I have some other things that I need to do with that money. So
okay.
Yeah.
So you're not playing brave.
I hope you don't get a delay.
Huh?
I hope you don't get a delay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is highly likely to happen still.
No, man. Typically, the IPO is going faster now, Randy, though.
Yeah.
No much real delays after accounting. So it should be fine, I think.
Is VM's first? VM's first with this new system and with their.
VM first. VM this already, man.
No, man. I mean, VM first for the year.
With the new style.
With the new system and everything, yes. So, I mean, the kinks, we're going to work the kinks out now.
True.
Yeah, so let's see what they're doing. And they seem like, boy, the brokerage space looks almost like it's heating up, but let's see if I'm talking with them, Wally.
Indeed. Thing though, them again. It's funny though. I always find that to be interesting. When we talk, we always hear the thing they talk, the supply and demand talk, right? But the places where it actually matters a lot, you don't hear it. The first 2 days of an IPO, it almost, like the first week of an IPO, it almost makes it a great buy just on the base with the right things happening, where you actually have to look at the supply and demand and blah 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 blah. But with a certain level of demand for something, you know, you have good coverage buying 100% up, buying at 232. Look at Spur 3 and learn, right? The amount of demand you saw and amount of active for buying past this point. 232, and for both of them there's no way you're not taking that, right? if you could go back with your bag of money and say, I'm trying to buy learn at 232.
Yep.
It's not a far-fetched thing. It's almost a no-brainer. So the fact that him said no, I'm going to buy past that point is interesting to me. Because
that's why I'm asking, because it says so much. It says a whole lot.
And then you already got some base shares, say average price. That's an interesting thing too. People don't look at them average price. People look at a buying here, so whatever after this matters. How far you think they're going to go?
First rock.
Joseph, I'm asking you.
Rock. I keep saying first rock.
No, right not coming to mind. Dollar.
How far is dollar? Call it lend, and I'll remember it easy.
I mean, Kadim said that it is likely to be dollar. So, unfortunately,
I agree. Unfortunately.
But I mean, it is likely to end up at a full instead of the timeline for what I want this morning. So,
you don't want nobody here where you have to say the thing there. Take a piece of plastic and crank it over the phone.
Yeah,
you say when nobody never hear it. Repeat that.
I'm saying it is likely to end up at $4, but outside of the timeline of when I want the money. So I'll take.
Gotcha.
I'll take what I need and I'll go and I'll be happy for everybody else.
Let's say those see that $4 within their time. Actually, I think that's the right thing to do. I.e., my goal is this, and this fulfills the goal to this level, and I'm not waiting outside of the time just to get a little bit more because I'm good where I am. Not a bad deal. Makes sense.
Plus, other things might be happening at the time, and market is acting a little bit weirdish.
Hey, boy, I give the keys to walk out of the jail and you come back. What? What's going on? You know, like freedom?
What's the thing happening? What you say? What else is happening on the market?
Other things might be happening. I'm not sure. Rumors
no, but if you reach your goal within your time, and $4 within X time is too much or too long a wait. But you reach your goal by being in dollar to a certain point. Why are you looking at the market again?
In the sense that dollar might not go as far as we'd like it to go because people might quickly chase other things.
You hear the fear, don't I?
It sounds like fear, man.
Yeah, man. This is the real talk now. This is the fear.
But I'm still very interested in the fact that he has no fear of after I leave dollar at this point, I'm going to look for some other returns within the short timeline that I have on the market for things that are not a new listing.
No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about other people.
No, I'm not talking about you.
I want to hear about you.
More hear about you. Me not care what your sister says she's gonna do. More what you say you're gonna do.
I'm set the initial goal. I mean, a Mayberry assessment at the time. But I mean, it's borrowed funds that's really driving this little dollar thing.
Okay, so once the play done, the play done.
Oh,
yeah.
So
but watch
me getting out.
Hold on, no. You're not getting unless you applied. Let's assume that the John Jackson rumor is true. You're getting 40 grand at 8% above 40 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that you have applied for more than 40 grand. So you have a bit of a refund coming, right?
Right. All right.
So your borrowed fund still is coming back to your pocket. What are you gonna do with it? Because
also,
I'm sure
that's interesting too. Yeah, so it sounds like a lot of goals were set here. Because think about this too. When you borrow the money, where you think how much of it were you thinking you're getting in the IPO? How much, what allocation would make you reach your goal? Say I put 100 grand, I need to get a 30 grand allocation, and that 30 grand allocation I need to double so I can make 30 grand and pay back my loan. And pay 30 grand, pay back the loan, I'm fine, and I go no, and I'm paying I will give my girlfriend 30 grand for her birthday. Because my goal was to make that 30 grand. So allocation will give you the money you need on your loan now. Tell me how your plan it was for the goal to work out.
At least 10% in the IPO, as in the initial
allocation.
Amount.
Okay.
Right. I mean that kind of get messed up still, but
so does the 40, so give me an allocation, man. 10% of your thing there.
So much money the man throw in, say even the 8%.
No, if you want to.
Yeah, you don't give him 10%. Oh, you mean fling the big money, yes? All right. So it kind of get messed up. Okay, cool. But you're still getting a refund.
Right.
Yeah. So are you going to apply it? So I'm asking, was you getting a refund factored into your goal initially? Because I don't care that I don't. So say was the idea that I need to make X amount from this and getting a refund of the 90% is fine.
No, I mean that 90% is fine. You know, I mean, if I could have gotten 50% allocation, that would have been nice. Much better.
So what? No, really.
Realistically,
you would not want that.
You would not want that. 10% was really it.
50% allocation, you would not want that. Trust me. Even the people that say they want that don't actually want that. They don't realize they don't want that. You don't want that.
Iron balloon.
But realistically, I knew that 10% is really what I was likely to get or near that.
Not likely. No. That's what you like to get. That's what you wanted. So when you borrow the money, were you thinking if I get 10% and a 10% do a set to the 10% double, I get what I want to get and I'm gone. Was that the idea?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, the thing that I not break down for you. You wanted what you were hoping for 10%. Let's say you got the 10%. What kind of cap gains did you want on top of that 10% allocation?
100%.
Maybe I'll say this for your subscribers. So what you're saying is a very common thing, and I get you. I understand. And so because it's borrowed funds too, and that's a very careful thing, you have to be very, very careful with it. You are fine going with what you have gotten already. And you just play the game you play the cards you've been dealt. You're not trying to do any fancy moves. You don't want to stress the bet too much. You're working with the cards you've been dealt. Okay.
I mean, first time operating with borrowed funds too, so you know.
Okay, I get that. I know that there is some fear there.
I'm used to hearing this. So I know exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing, by the way.
Definitely.
That's not a bad thing.
In fact, walking along the lines of your fears is the nicest path you can have, because boy, when you can't sleep at night because this stock doing X, or because you have too much in this stock and you're not really, really sure about it, then yeah. So as long as you can sleep at night and make the money you're looking to make, then you have a nice you have a nice thing going on for you.
Yeah, man. And later on, there'll be more things, I'm sure, for the rest of your life where you're investing. There'll be other things that you'll have built up more confidence in what you're doing, and you'll have a better play. And so, yeah, it's not a bad start. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, separate and apart from all of this, I mean, people still not giving Russell no love, but I'll continue to love it.
What kind of love you expect for Russell?
They just have some results, right?
I mean, I haven't been able to go through it yet, but I glimpsed it.
Me neither. The audited, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, me
What kind of love you expect for that? Do you expect love for last time? What you call love? What that work?
No, I mean, last time is easily $8-9 stock. I
You
think.
think so?
On what
So-
basis?
I think so.
You would buy it. You'd buy it at $7.
I mean, and that's at 7 to get to 9.
No, we have to buy that.
What's that? I mean,
What's the most you pay for last time?
I mean, sorry. I mean, it depends on what I want and what time that I'm buying. Yeah.
That's fine.
You know what?
But
That is
it's
true.
yeah, man. But you said a thing, you know. Yes, true, definitely, you know. But can you see a reason somebody else would pay $8-9 for that time?
Yeah.
What's the reason?
I mean, people are paying a lot more for stocks that I mean, when you look at the valuation is
You know what I'm saying about
I know
it?
so it works.
it don't work.
I know
Right?
so it works. No, sir, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Let me tell you what you just said. I believe people will pay $10 million for this Corolla because people are paying 15 and 20 and 40 and $100 million for Ferraris.
No.
That is
I
what
mean,
you just said.
when
You
you're
just don't
comparing
realize
apples
it.
and apples,
Okay.
I mean, people
What's the apple you're comparing to last time?
Give me the two apples. Give me an apple that looks like that's empty.
I mean,
companies are all different, right?
I mean, companies are all different, right?
But no, answer that nice question.
There are enough similarities out there.
Like
right?
what?
So give
us two.
Last one is in the manufacturing space, right?
Uh-huh.
But even with Grace, I think. I mean, when you look at PE, I mean, last year still trading at last time I checked, much lower PE than Grace.
Almost double or so, Randy, something like that. Or
last
Grace
time's PE currently, and this hasn't been updated to the latest results. So the PE without latest results is 13.5 times, and GK's PE, I don't know if GK's PE is currently 12.85. So 12. GK is actually on a PE ratio basis more undervalued than LASEM, and respectfully, GK has a lot more potential than LASEM. A lot more, significantly more.
But I mean.
Well, so I was talking my
the numbers don't really match up with the last thing that I was looking at in terms of what you just said a while ago. It was more in line with what I was suggesting earlier. In terms of the difference in PE between GK and LASEM. But I mean, I could be wrong.
GK was 7 in your mind?
Huh?
GK was PE of 7 in your mind? I think I stole that from JMB, by the way.
Oh,
no, as in GK trading at a higher PE than
that's not what I was saying at all. That's not what I was saying at all.
All right, cool.
Because it's not at all. It is trading at a lower PE, and again, I
believe it should be
anybody. Yeah, and GK is potential wise much more potential than LASEM. Not knocking LASEM, but GK. They have an entire banking conglomerate within them. They have an entire general insurance conglomerate within them, regional. They have an entire life insurance conglomerate within them, regional and growing. They have an entire multinational
global
food thing within them. They have Western Union for the region within them. No.
Sorry, boss. No, see it, you know. So, yeah. So, what? Throw another example. What's on the market that you're saying, boy, they would have really paid that for that, and they're now going to pay $8, $9 for that same.
And don't take this the wrong way, by the way. This is, I think it's good because we don't usually go. It's good for us.
I love this.
I love this kind of conversation.
And you know, the good thing is, a lot of people think along this line. So I think it's good to have the conversation because, you know, different views on it.
Yeah, I mean, there are stocks out there. I really don't know if I should be calling names right now.
Well,
You can.
Let me.
These are public stocks, bro. And a day of your money. Anybody can vex with this, say whatever. But guess what? You buy what you buy. So, rather than I could disagree with you, you are buy what you are buy.
Yeah.
So, end of the day, no matter.
Yeah, the market determines who is right at the end of the day.
Yep.
The market is
So,
market is always right.
When last time they had $8, $9, you come back on this, and so then I know say it say. then I never really say, but you get what I'm saying. If anybody did vex with you for you decide say your money must go whatever. If $8, $9 last time happen, then they miss the train.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I last time I spoke on this, I spoke about last time.
Oh yeah, last time fun, man.
Yeah, well, last time, I mean, I've been buying from $4, right? Start it nearing $6, and then come all the way back down. But yeah.
You don't give me the other stock yet, It's like you're going around me.
Yeah, well, there are plenty of them on the market. Plenty. And when you look at the potential for it, but
there's so much to say one.
Or tell us about the potential. Let me not pressure you there. Tell us about the potential that you see then.
That's it. What you see there to get it? What gets it? What makes people? What would make somebody say? All right. So yes, in fact, we started here, and you said the thing you said, which I don't agree with generally in terms of that's not a reason for last M to be where it is. That's not a reason for last M to move because other things are doing what they're doing. Why would last M go $8, $9? Why would I buy last M $8, $9? It doesn't matter that I'm buying Oxford Express at 300 and something PE.
I mean, last time is growing. Has been growing profits consistently for a good little while now.
Okay.
I mean, solidly run company, I think.
Me too.
And I mean, I use also Lassen products. So I mean, there's that for me too. I mean, I love the company. Solidly run company. It is growing. It is growing. But I mean, the stock price isn't even keeping up with half of the growth that it has been growing for years now.
You think? All right. Continue.
In terms of debt, I believe. I mean, Lassen's debt is not much compared to assets. And so, I mean, if it is that they really want to, grow significantly by acquiring something else, that's possible. For them. I mean, the one thing is I don't know if no, I don't. I haven't heard of them doing any acquisitions of late, and I don't know whether or not that is something that they're looking to do. But I mean, the potential for them to do that is there.
All right. So I agree. SM has been growing profits consistently. I agree. SM is well run. And I think that's where I draw the line. Because, and even then, like in terms of for the share price, growing profits consistently.
Yeah, you've done
that. Don't mean the share price will move.
That don't set share prices. That don't mean nothing. And you're pointing out that Lassem is proof of that.
And you're also pointing out thing there. Potential and very unrealized potential if they don't have debt. And I always say that as a thing, like it's good, but the best it ever does is I don't have these heavy interest costs. What it tells me also is that we can get some debt and we can go buy something. But shoulda, woulda, coulda, I can. Work so. You're not going to date a girl because on the potential she gonna look good next year. Yeah? So and what you're saying to me is an acquisition could have, but you don't see any on the table yet or whatever. To me, that's a good point to run down. Yeah. And even maybe something going on. If you think something's going to happen, you determine when it will happen, all that niceness. then maybe we can, and it have an impact a certain way. So maybe we can say $8, $9 stock. But just on the basis that they could raise money and buy something to bring them there. Boy, I mean, now buy that fund that, I'm not going to buy a stock at $9, $8 because maybe it happens. So may I say? So I feel like that's where most of the market is. Boy, cool, that's them growing. They are. But what level of growth? You say the share price hasn't been moving with the thing there. Suppose it was overvalued at that point to the market at those higher PEs, and then the profits coming in now and taking it down little because everybody said, all right, it's a $5 stock now, I'm willing to buy it up, and it's reached $5, I'm fine. Because I bought it at $3 and I bought it all the way to $5. They could be, so maybe they grew into the valuation instead of the next way around where more profits come, people will keep continue pushing it. You know, it's very rare like that. Sometimes the price things ahead. They mentioned earlier that some companies that have higher PEs that could generally, that's often the case when people expect a lot of growth because, boy, I'm buying before the profits reach because I know when the profits reach, this $10 stock will be a $12 stock, and it's not immediately apparent now. But when the profits reach when the profits I expect to reach, then the market will take it there. So maybe it's quote unquote overvalued to everybody's eyes because the PE high. CPJ was a great example of that. PE was ugly last year. It was terribly high. Right, it was negative at that point. It was non-existent. Then it became super high, and now it's low.
Yep.
And people bought, and people were buying ahead. The profits have hit, and it's showing a low PE now, which could maybe be a point for people. Or maybe I think the PE should be higher, so people start buying it up, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, the good company or that's never a reason for me to buy it at a higher price. That's a reason for me to buy it now, maybe. Maybe I think it's a good company relative to the price and what I'm getting from it now makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to buy it higher because it's a good company. It was a good company yesterday. It was a good company, it was at 6. It's a good company at 5. It's a good company at 7. Being a good company is just baseline. The price not going to move on that. Whatever the price is, being a good company is just gravy. It's not going to change the valuation of the thing there. Because yesterday I knew it was a good company. Why today when it's a good company again, I'm going to know buy it higher when it's the same thing it was yesterday.
And just to cap it, I think you know this innately. I know you know this innately because when you say it's a $8-9 company, I say okay. When I ask if you'd buy it at 7, you hesitate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you really thought it was a $9 company, buying it at 7 would make sense. If you tell me that I can buy a Ferrari tomorrow for 100,000 Jamaican, and I'm sure it's a real Ferrari, I would buy it. I wouldn't hesitate. It's
no, but I guess
I get what you were saying in terms of boy, if buying at 7 going to 8, then you know that's not the level of gain you're looking for. But somebody has to do it. So give me a reason why somebody else gets up and takes your shares from $5 to $9, and why would somebody get up tomorrow and buy for 7 that you're not willing to pay for? Because at the end of the day, you say I'm only going to buy that 5 because 5 to 9 makes sense. I'm not saying you said that. I'm not saying that's generally 5 is a good price, right? If it's too little, then it's a good price. Cool. If I get to 7, if I get to 8, somebody will buy it at 7. Suppose everybody have the same mindset as you, where cool, that's the gain potential, but that gain is just typically what I'm going for. So I'm going to look elsewhere for it. That could be a whole lot of the market. Because again, 5 is nice for thing there, but I'm not going to buy it. Most people get up and say, boy, if me not see no gain after 9, I'm not buy it, I'm going to buy it at 7. I'm going to buy it at 8. But 9 is the price it's worth. So that's why I'm selling. So maybe it never going to 9 because everybody cool with it at 5 because I'm not going to be the guy that buy it at 7.
I suppose.
So what I would say, it's exactly what we're saying with that there. If you're not willing to do it, why would somebody else be? Why is the gain too little at that point for you, but should be enough for everybody else?
Oh yeah, different time horizon, I suppose. and timeline.
Yeah, but then if I can go long term, and me I get a 5, there's no rush take it at 7.
Here's why I know that's not something you truly believe. Or I shouldn't say that you truly believe it, but you're kind of twisted now because you have money in Lassem now waiting for it to get to 9.
Uh-huh.
So you're going to follow the journey to 9 anyway.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Why the displeasure that it is at 9? If you're willing to wait till it gets to 9, why the speaking that way? I'm just taking from your tone and the way you phrase it. It sounded like, boy, it should really be a $9 stock. Why people not read that it doesn't make sense? It should get to 9 by now. But you're willing to wait for that point. Right?
I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah. I'm willing to wait a particular time. Right?
All right, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna sit and wait forever for it to get to 9, and if it don't get to 9, then
now waiting vain.
Okay.
Right.
I think I said we'll hit 9. I don't know. I'm not going to say when I think so, but I don't. But as long as what you think will happen works for you when you get it. But I think you raised some nice points for Lassem.
Some wonderful points for Lassem. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think they can look further for certain things happening around them that can probably lead you on a nice road there.
Hopefully. Well, thanks, guys.
Come on, boss. Big up.
Big up. And thank you for the good conversation. I like
and reading the gift.
I like a good conversation with some meat to it. And guys, remember you can send in a speaking request. You can ask any questions you might have, any points you might have. Send it, and we will talk about it. And since there's I'm gonna stress that there might still be a free grower course in it, so come in and have a conversation with us anyway. You can't answer the same question, but maybe for the right conversation you get it as a gift nonetheless. Let's talk Gordon. What's up?
Hey, good night, guys.
Evening.
Night, Gordon. What's up?
I'm here. I was kind of trying to get the session, but I realized that the session was not with Danai, but more so with Randy. However, this is
well, I keep having that on Randy.
Yeah, but you see, I'm not listening. I even played it out that there's a very clear path from a session with me to a session with Danai.
No, I know. But in addition to that, I'm willing to do grow for a second time, you know.
Oh no, but the question mash up. I was giving it to newcomers. I don't know.
I realized that after.
There's definitely a newcomer that I'd want to get it also, so that's fine. But what's up? I know that's not. Is that why you're jumping on?
Yes. Yes and no. Based on conversation that you're having with a guy just now. When you're asking if it is that he'd be willing to, pay for it over $75, and when you were asking the question if it is that he was willing to pay more money for a company that I would want to say hypothetically believe in, but the truth is why not spend that amount of money? You get what I'm saying? If you so believe in the company, because let's just use Dollar. Based on the hype around it and all of that, the oversubscription, I saw it coming, but to the magnitude, I never saw that before, or I even expected that. I think they would have probably set a record as a junior company that's been listed.
I don't know. I would have to check. It's easy to say yes, but I would have to check. But it seems like a record.
Yeah.
It seems like a record. I mean, again, if the 10 million that John Jackson have is the 10 billion that John Jackson says is accurate, then that I think that would be a record or damn well close to it, if not. Yo, Wisynco listed on 6 billion. Wisynco wanted 6 billion. I mean, they pulled a lot more, but their main market company, Wisynco, that massive entity, wanted $6 billion. For Dollar to get even 5 is a massive show of confidence in it, but then you heard us talking about what the reality of confidence on the market really sounds like. Easy to talk
That is
confidence,
it.
yeah, man.
That
Real
is it.
confidence is a different thing, and being able to track real confidence is a skill that not everybody has. But I'd like to teach to as many as I can. But yeah, your point. Mike,
Yeah,
let's
man.
call it a record because I think it is. And if it's
Say that
10,
again?
I said let's call it a record because I think it is. And if it is the 10, and even at 5, I think it is a record. But if it's a 10 that John Jackson
10.
say here,
Almost certainly.
yeah, almost certainly. But again, I don't know how accurate this is. Heard 5, heard 10. John Jackson's
Yeah.
10 came out. John Jackson's 10 came out when you saw me bring it up. That's a fresh article. So,
And then, you know, based on, I think it was a conversation that you had, if it wasn't last week, Friday, it was the week before. One of the things that I'm really looking at, you know, is that the market or the population has been becoming a little bit more educated and a little bit more exposed to financial stuff, you know. Persons are now opening their eyes to say, okay, then instead of putting your money in savings account, let me see if it is that I can buy in on this IPO, and you know, because it's like IPO is the buzz now, you know. Once there's an IPO, everybody is just like,
I mean, not
they
no,
want
but
it, they want
yeah.
it, you know. Just like how when Vibes Cartel did say Clarks, I never ever believed the Clarks it exists before. You get me?
For some,
Everybody want
yeah.
a Clarks. So now, even when the FSC would have opened or extended the time where, you know, the market has to be a little bit more informed on, you know.
Boy, you're making a mistake I heard earlier today.
Yeah. You're making a heavy
Say that again?
assumption. You're making an assumption. I'm pretty sure you don't like the FS. What's the FSC point?
So that the IPO, the prospectus can be open a little bit earlier, or probably be out earlier.
You
so
say
that
a little bit real life, man. You think that the FSC document is a little bit? What them actually say? You sound like you're assuming and you're getting.
I don't remember the exact date.
Well, you have to in order to.
You can't quote it and anything then. You can't use it and then read it, no. Because you give yourself problems there, so.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's one thing I'm very careful about. Like especially if you're going to, when it comes to the FSC, they're very careful with what they do. So just try and meet them with that standard of carefulness. So I don't know that FSC suggestion, which I think is what you're referencing, has anything to do with this. But you're right that a lot more people in the market are being more educated. I mean, you see that I've taught hundreds of people, and I'm not the only one. Other people have had classes, people coming in, people educating themselves. We do this every week. A lot of people learn. So yeah, the general level of financial literacy generally is growing. A virgin asked me, like, how many people do you think you have brought to the market? You, Randy, specifically, he was talking to me. How many people do you think you have brought to the market? That's a great question.
That's a very good question, you know.
A few thousand, I'm sure. Hundreds is an easy thing, but a few thousand, I'm sure.
You get what I'm saying? And then you have Dana over here who just sharpen the edges, just a cut and go through.
Then I provide a service that is exceedingly needed in the space.
Yeah.
And that's why he's always under pressure, because the level of quality is clear.
Well, as my dad said to me back in the year, you don't compete with quantity, you compete with quality. And I'm yet to sit with Danai, but I, based on, me knowing persons who would have sat with him, and based on the feedbacks of persons who would have came on this session and would have spoke, if you understand the whole meaning of that, then you'll know who spoke to who and who is being introduced to quality information more and more, because we expect that the behavioral patterns will change, because once you come to the investment field, it's not really so, well, knowledge is important, but discipline is really the gas in the tank. You get what I'm saying? So I'm really looking forward to a session. And what I also wanted to share was that, because I knew, I knew that the IPO was going to be oversubscribed, but by how much, I wasn't sure about that. So I never went in, tying up my money with a lot, to get that refund. So I went in pretty moderate, of how I assisted the market. The demand for a dollar would have been so that I can wait until it is listed and I can have a play there.
But you put 40,000 because you knew it was going to allocate at that.
No, I put about 70 grand.
No, I was teasing because some people know a lot about IPOs before they come in. So.
Yeah, man, I put about 70 grand with the hopes that I get anywhere between 40 and 50. I wasn't expecting anything more than 50,000. If it is that I got more than that, I consider myself lucky, despite I don't believe in luck. And then, in the open field, I'm playing it there.
42,000.
What again?
You get about 42,000 shares if this 8% from transaction is correct. 8% above 40,000 is correct.
Yeah, so it really came close to my expectation, 50,000 thereabout, and then I attack the market to see if it is that I can at least get anywhere between 75% to 125%, and then I take about 75% of that and go back home to my original vehicle.
Oh, so it's a you're doing a IPO flip. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because go ahead.
Car run and go back. If the car run, and go back to it when you're done.
No. Well, it's not run and go back, But what
I say leave the car running. You left the car running.
Oh, yeah. Because it's the goal that I have, Mm-hmm. And the goal that I have is really linked to a particular vehicle. So what I'm really trying.
Wait. What that work?
No. All right. So the goal that I have is linked to a particular vehicle, right?
A your company.
Huh?
It's a your company.
Well, I own shares in it, and equity means that you are,
Hold on, think the name again. Which top 10 is that?
What again?
Which top 10 is that?
Which top 10?
Oh, that reminds me. Thank you for that point, Danai. I have a top 10 point to mention afterwards. But I think maybe Danai saw him saying it. I give him in the room. I think you saw him saying it. So you say you have a goal that's linked to a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's not. Yeah. But I don't want other people to take it.
Ask a question, man.
No, it's a good point. As in, because you know how it goes. You don't. The goal comes first.
The goal and the vehicle. The goal is the goal, and the vehicle is just the thing you're jumping to get to the goal, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say the goal is linked to the particular vehicle, explain how that works to me.
Well, no, I'm using the vehicle to get me to the goal. Probably that's what I should have said.
Okay.
So that works really well. I like it. Continue. Because what I didn't want was people saying that kind of thing. Boy, my goal is into this vehicle, and them and the vehicle, they not run the vehicle, them can't control the sales, them can't control the profit, but them decide that this is the thing I must be in. Despite and my money must do this, and this is the thing I must be in for it. So up or down, go around, whatever. Anywhere this thing take me, and this for me I go, up or down, wherever. Yeah. And I've seen more hurt than good out of that. So yeah. So I like the qualification. Continue, boss. Sorry for cutting you.
Yeah, man. No, man. The cuts are necessary because that's how you grow. Just like the guy who said that he had guts. And while he was saying that, I was actually driving from Palisades, and when I was actually laughing because I was saying in my early days, guts really brought me to the toilet. And I had to do some there, but. Based on the last discussion that we had, I think it was 2 weeks ago, because the time is really moving so fast. JFP is really I'm banking on JFP to get some results from JFP. So I'm just using Dolla to get me some more Dolla, so I can stack up. Because honestly, I don't know what top 10 feels like, and I would like to,
You want to know?
Yeah, I want to know what it feels like, because I personally believe that you shouldn't really take from advice from persons that are not in the position that you'd like to be in, or persons that are really working on getting there. You get me? So I want to know what a top 10 feels like. They did indicate that they expect that this year would have been their best year yet. Like, I don't believe that a company or individual should really come out and make such bold statement. Well, anybody can say anything still, you know.
That's
You know?
JFP.
JFP.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm sorry, you lost me a bit there.
You're saying JFP came out and said that they're having they're about to have, or they expect to have their best year ever.
Yeah.
And you say they mustn't say anything there?
No, I'm not saying
I
that
don't think he was done.
they must not. But I'm saying that for a company or an individual, whether the CEO, directors, or whosoever, to come out and make such a bold statement, I would take it that it means something.
Oh, me too.
You get what I'm saying? And then, you know, with the expectation of this world getting back to normality, when we don't know, but, you know.
No, I don't know, you know. What do you mean? Make the point, man.
All right, so I'm saying that with the hope and expectation of things getting back to normality, demand for a lot of stuff will increase. As you can see, even one of their customers, which is KFC, they're on a very high rampage as regards to employees. You know, employees leads to stemming from the demand, of course. And then, you know, you're going to need more locations because it's like KFC is the national dish. Well, it is Jamaica's national dish. Them having partners with like hotels.
So I'm not sure that adds up. Meaning KFC and staff, or is that how that ties into more location? They don't have more location because they have more staff, you know. They have more staff because they have more locations. So is it that they're not going to ramp up staff? I don't know. KFC we're hiring more on the basis of on the basis of we get more locations.
It's to fill the locations that they would have had.
Mm-hmm.
And
so how does that tie into JFP? Make the connection.
All right. So JFP is the contractor, the builder for most of these KFC locations. I don't want to say all. I'm not 100% sure. You get me? So based on that, I'd say that okay then, things would have looked very well for them in that regards.
Yeah, I forgot.
I think the question is why.
Yeah.
Real life, man. Real life.
Yeah, real life.
So I have more people in the place. What does JFP do for me? Because if my place don't build in a bossy, the place don't build.
You have to remember what as teacher grow, right? You have to know what the company is actually doing, or like how they make money. They make money off a new KFC the first time, and maybe have some refurbs, but the refurb is not every day. So yes, they might make money.
Not the same about money either.
Yeah, that's also true. Refurb not necessarily the same level of money. But so they make money if, let's say, a new KFC gets put in. And we know a couple of new churches at KFC have been put up, so that might mean money for them. And that's great, but you can only build the thing the first time once. You can't.
Yeah, which is true.
What I was looking at, you mentioned COVID and going back to a certain level. That means a good amount of things probably weren't being refurbed because me have nobody in the place. Why am I refurbish this thing? So I'm cut out the refurb bill because I'm saving on money and I'm not going to pay it if nobody's still in the place. The chairs are on the table. And we only have walk-in customers that walk in and go out, drive through, delivery. I don't have anybody sitting in this place because the face-to-face thing cut out. We're going back to the thing then. So I can see where refurbishing can start back.
In fact, COVID could have in some ways extended their refurbishing time because the inside the seats and so on would have gotten less wear and tear.
True.
Yeah, so you have to think in real life. So that I mean when I say real life, and you know from Grow I talk about being very real about what it is that you being very real about what it is that drives the thing that you're looking at. I think I have never said it for JFP. I'll say it now. Most people don't. We've been talking for a few hours, so most people don't pay attention to this part and they hit the 3-hour mark. I mean, I think there's identified like 3 new Starbucks to be built. They built all the Starbucks, so that's almost guaranteed money for them.
Yeah. Just to cut you a bit there, Randy. One of the things that I was also looking at is locations in St. Thomas.
For what?
Yeah.
Starbucks?
Well, I'm not sure about Starbucks as yet, but possible KFC.
possibly KFC.
Yeah, possibly KFC because the
No one will
demand.
get the one bill already. The one bill already, don't it?
Where? Which one?
The St. Thomas KFC, the bill already. The one that was to go there.
To be built.
It's still to be built or built already?
I don't think it is it.
This is the research.
Yeah, yeah.
Research.
No, I'm getting homework to do, you know. I'm getting homework to do.
No, you should do this homework already. This homework happens before you go into the vehicle.
Before your money gone in it.
Yeah, man.
I don't have money in JFP.
No, but it's not KFC alone. There's other stuff like
KFC alone you're talking about.
Yeah.
Talk, man, talk.
Like what? Like what?
Island Grill. Looking to extend their locations. You know, I was even looking at. Yeah.
Wait. How much?
In 2022 and 2023 as well. They said about what? 2 to 3 locations. I know that one of them is coming to Spanish Town. I think another one will be going down by in Clarendon there.
Mm-hmm. So that sounds like for 2022 goal.
Mm-hmm.
If depending how the construction and all that, but if you can time that well, then you see what that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thinking. You have to bring some real thinking. And you're banking on these things that you're not as sure about versus the dollar that you have the money in already.
But personally, to me, dollar is really new, you know. You get new to me. New to
everybody.
Yeah, so there's still more research that is needed for me to get done on dollar and how the the financial space is really evolving. Another one of the things that I was really even thinking about dollar is the whole, you know, cyber security, protection of persons' personal information and how they can integrate their system to work with that. So I invest more with more information.
You confuse me just now.
That should be the basis, but you already invest in dollar, that you tell me.
No, yeah, but it's not a lot. I'm using dollar as a flip.
So just because it's a flip, it doesn't require a depth of research. The shorter the time to profit is, the more research required. Shorter goal times require even more work. It's harder to make the money in a short time. You realize how dangerous what you're saying is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
Don't tell nobody say the girl. Then I give him the girl.
Will do.
Give him the girl. That's dangerous, my guy. That's dangerous what you're saying here. Because you have the money in the thing already. Just because it's a flip don't mean nothing. We've seen stocks IPO and drop.
In fact, exactly.
No, wait, no, but the amount that I have in this stock is the amount
if it's $1
willing to risk.
So you say you're willing to lose.
So just I'm saying willing to risk, not even lose. But just because you risk don't mean nothing.
Hey, listen, no, I hate how the word risk is used. Jesus. Yeah. Willing to risk, what that mean?
When I say risk, I'm talking about losing.
Yeah, me too. So the moment you put money in a stock, you're taking a risk. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So the willing to risk, blah, blah, that's nice. Cool story. You don't want to lose money. I know that. The thing that stops you from losing money is cutting that risk. So the way you cut risk, you know more about the company because you form expectations of what you expect to happen within whatever period of time.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do the research on this short-term play, suppose I did go on thing there, I do want 300% from JFP. And I don't say the IPO, I'm flipping. How would that go for me?
Ask the question again.
So I wanted 300% on a flip from JFP because Learn do it, Spur3 do it.
Well, based on where the market is and the price is, you
would have had that.
Depending on the time.
He's saying before IPO.
Before. Yeah, man, because that's when you're investing in it. It's before when you put the money, I'm not talking about the gain. I'm talking about before anything happens, this IPO come and I say, all right, cool. I do my calculation and I feel to the allocation and get at least 10,000 and me need the money for flip. I need that 10,000 to triple to get what I need to get from this stock. And because of a short-term thing, and it's an IPO, I'm going to fling it there and I'll get my flip out of it. How would that work for me? Because if I use the same basis you're talking about dollar on and for JFP, it wouldn't work out. And dollar don't happen yet. So it's looking like how JP would have looked at that time.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know.
Yeah, remember, JFP came on the heels of Spurtree. So there are a lot of people that went into JFP simply off JFP must can do what Spurtree did too. And it didn't happen.
Yeah, for Jamaica was supposed to do a week and do too.
And it didn't happen.
Mash up.
Yeah, every IPO is not the same. Every single IPO is different. Every single one is different in some way, shape, or form. Okay, we've spoken very greatly about dollar, and of course I enjoy dollar, like dollar. I have my own money in dollar, but it could go bad. Think about it.
True.
A lot of people have come into dollar. A lot of people who are new to the market don't know nothing. I joked at the start of the show about Uptown. A lot of Uptown come in. You think that Uptown is a pyramid scheme? You look a certain way, but you act a certain way. You act differently sometimes. They might look like, they'll do what is the biggest lie everybody tells in investing on the local market? Oh, I'm very steady. I'm looking for a long-term thing. The second them see the million them put in turn 2 million, suddenly, you're not taking profits. What happened if this Uptown crowd that not used to stocks, not used to the market, coming in for the first time in dollar, put 10 million in, get 8%, put 10 million and get the 8% of that, right? Plus the 40K. And no, let's say whatever it work out to have $1 million, and it goes up 2. So it hits 2, and I don't know nothing other than that my 1 million units is now worth 2 million, and I know I can flip. What happened when I start to sell? Now multiply me by 15 people. That is a whole heap of selling pressure. Now what happens if on day 2 it closed down a little bit? Everybody else see it and frightened. This market is built on fear. The day after the first dip is almost certainly going to be a second dip. Look at that. This is JFP on screen for the people who can see it. The very first day that it closed, it closed
lower than the previous
day. Right after that it dropped, and right after that it dropped again, and it dropped and it kept on falling.
Because me scared. No, I don't know. Do him again. The fountain of youth has stopped flowing. Let me take the scraps and go.
Yeah, let me jump out. I was looking for 3, but it closed yesterday at 186. So let me jump out before it dropped. And then people who never hear about it after that, it closed the next day 153. What? I was hoping for 100%, but I'm only seeing 53%. Let me jump out.
And this thing is falling. Man. So
you can get a cascade effect from a lot of people, So it's not always a good thing that a lot of people are out there. That's why you hear me say the things I say, the things you see me tweet is not wild stuff as much as I say it wildly. If you really love a company and an IPO, you want to get a tiny allocation, because if you get a big allocation, a lot of people have gotten a big allocation, and it might sound nice, but it means that there's less demand and the fear is still there. And the first time somebody hit the fear button, you now have a lot more people who can, people with bigger allotments to have the fear response. So you are saying that you like JFP and you're just doing a little flip, and it's not a lot of money you're risking, but it don't matter if it's $1 or $10 million. The responsibility is on you to always.
It's not JFP,
No, but
we're not talking about JFP at all. I'm just saying the idea
money.
where you
The money that you're talking about doing is flip in dollar with, and saying that, I'd have to do a little bit more research. But you already have the money in there. So you went in without the research. And because you went in without research, you don't really have any real points in front of you to look to know what your guidance is. And as a result,
hold on. I did some research, but I am not finished. So I never said I never did any research at all.
Bro, you put money in there before you finish your research. Suppose when you finish the research, you see something that show you, say, oh, this is terrible.
I eat this.
Yeah, suppose the last thing of the prospectus say, chop, chop. I mean, it wouldn't say that. You're not supposed to say that.
It's a no ball to me.
Well, I don't know what to say there.
You have to be more responsible. It don't matter, because here's the thing, you say just a small amount. I'm tell you something I know. The mistakes you make with the small money is the same mistakes you're gonna make with the big money.
With the big money. Yeah.
That's right, I agree.
100% true. You say you want the top 10 feeling, you have to learn the mistakes now and avoid them to get there, because you can get there, you can leverage up, or I don't know how, but the bigger your portfolio is, the more the mistakes hurt. So you want to get the mistakes ironed out before you get any big going. What you do
more risk, more reward. But guess what that means too? More loss.
Yeah.
If you let me tell you a secret of big money. And we talk about it, we hear about it, but nobody talks about it in this real way. But it's harder to big money do things. It's hard to grow big money. You know what's truth? It's hard to move big money. That's why it's hard to grow big money. And you know what that cause? Your thing, this thing is falling. You're in top 10. And guess what? You can't sell everything when time moving.
Mm-hmm.
So the risk you're taking on this 70 grand. If it's more money in, brother, it's when Masito buy it on the right, you have a thing that, trust me, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that slap there.
Yeah. Think about, here's a realistic case. Suppose Select F buys Dolla on day 2 at 150. Or on day 3 for 150.
Mm-hmm.
That's a close down, with heavy volume. People don't know it's Select F. The chatter might go out there, but the chatter is not going to move faster than this red line on mymoneyja.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's
it's falling,
that reaction. Yeah.
The next day. Dolla is falling.
Yeah.
One drop, but it's falling. What?
And the same way, the same power that allows us to say that the market was down to fund into Dolla is the same power that can say that Dolla is falling and people are rushing out, and it's become its own self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Not because anything has changed about the company, but simply because large volumes moved at a lower price, and they may move at a lower price. And you would know because I'm just doing a flip. The flip, I want you to understand here, I will never be the one to tell people not to do a flip. That you make your money along whatever timeline works best for you. But whatever you're doing, go into it with both eyes open. You have to have done the research before. And the shorter the time period is, the harder.
Mm-hmm.
The harder you have to work. A flip is one of the hardest points. It's literally true short-term investing, close to the day trading. It is harder to do. I mean, we've always said it, but it's like it fall on deaf ears because people hear they want, but no, it's a dangerous thing. A dangerous thing to not hear it. Like, not so you can't.
In fact, I hate hearing myself say it because I sound like that guy. I sound like I'm deterring people from trying to get these short-term gains. I'm not that guy. I'm telling you, go for it, but don't do it blind.
Yeah, man.
You put something behind it. You will. Willing to risk. I'm not willing. I'm willing to risk. I'm not. I hate losing money.
I don't lose money.
I don't know anybody that likes it.
Yeah.
So the truth is, it only make your life harder. You know? If when you lose money, you have to go work hard. I know if you go build it up and actually get the gain you want it to make. Yeah, sure. So the willing to risk thing, I'm trying to hear it. Because it's really just saying what I'm not sure what people are trying to bring across by saying it. Because I've seen too much times too. I'm willing to risk, man. And then the risk reach.
And then they weren't really.
But the talk change.
Yeah. So why is this not going up? What is
Suppose
happening?
Dolla halt down first day into the up.
Ja.
How you attack?
It's not a lot of money.
Buy more.
So why would you buy more if it was just a flip?
You say if it halts down.
Yeah, if it halts down the first day and it's just a flip.
And you're willing to risk just this small $70,000. Why do you stay for it? Because then you're gone further in at that thing there. Let me put a disclaimer. The moment I see an IPO, I am in halting down on first day. Me not care if sell it for. I am out. All right? I am out. Like, you cannot convince me because I know everybody else is good. Everybody it's a fine race that.
But quick question though, how would that, or how is that likely to happen?
Research, brother. Check all the IPOs in the past. It happens. So in my whole life, it's done. It happens. It happens.
No, I'm not saying that it cannot, but I'm asking what's the cause for that to happen.
You know what set your price.
That's why you check it. That's why you check. That's what the research is for, to find out why it would happen, so you can be prepared for it or just go going.
All right, adding that to my notes.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's something you should be afraid of.
No. I understand what you're saying, So this is so what I'm actually doing. I'm actually taking notes to add to my catalog of research.
But you follow the basic stuff you learned from Grow because you haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
If you did it, you would have brought you through Dolla in a way that you'd have had a much stronger. I suspect you'd be talking to us and tell us that you moved the money from JFP into Dolla if you had done the move up on Dolla, if you had actually done the research behind it. I think that's what I'd be hearing from you. I know it's because at the last Grow, split Grow Tuesday and Wednesday, we used Dolla as the base case, and the things seen from it really make a case for multiple, as I said earlier, multiple milestones, multiple things. But if you don't know what those things are, you can be lost. And I don't know how to say it. It's like somebody walking to half a tree and somebody else walking to half a tree with a blindfold on. It is the same journey, but the person that has the milestones in front of them, it's a completely different journey for them. And so both of you hear beep, and the one that is doing it with the blindfold might stop and run or drop down and just decide I'm not going anywhere because I'm afraid. And the other person who don't have the blindfold on realize that it's just a taxi in the road, but I'm not in the road. Or them driving, it's traffic here. But I always knew there's going to be traffic here because I checked my Google Maps and it told me there's going to be traffic at this little section. The other person, traffic there and them don't know why it's there, and so them come out and them done with the journey. Same situation, but the difference between the two is one of them eyes open and the other one don't. Just open your eyes. It being new is not an excuse. It's new to everybody. It's an IPO. It being some money going into it being money that you're willing to lose, not an excuse. When you're putting money in there, you need to know what's happening, because you could very well have been missing a great opportunity, an amazing opportunity. Yeah, I'm tempted to go into some specifics, but I don't want to do it here. But it's yeah. See, as Steph on YouTube said, Dolla halting down on the first day. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
It would be a bloodbath, but a lot of people would benefit later on. Yeah, a lot of people would benefit later on. You have to. I will never not speak to the need to understand the vehicle that you're getting into as fully as possible. As fully as possible, because you already know my thing. Grow rich with research. It is a thing that makes you money and keeps you safe. Anyway, I don't want us beat up on you too much. I don't want to turn into a bad sermon, but please take the thing serious, please, Gordon. As I know you know better.
I encourage this, because the only thing that I can do with this is learn, and apply the information and become better. So I really appreciate this, because through allowing yourself to become vulnerable, I believe that that's where you can learn the most from, so that you can become better.
Man,
so I appreciate it still.
Big up, man. And take a little time, take a little weekend and read it up, man. Who knows? By the time, because it's not going to list yet, we might get the allotment on Monday and talk to people, hear them sound, listen to what they're thinking around their money there, especially people who are new to the market. There are a lot of new people in the market. Nothing wrong with that. Guys, if you're new to the market, welcome. Stick with us. It's amazing.
It's nice over here.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. But yeah, there's for you, Gordon, there's no easing up on the responsibility factor. Once if it's even $1 you're putting $1, you have to take the thing serious. You have to know the thing that you're going into.
Yeah, true.
And I'm just kind of disappointed because I know that if you'd read it and see certain things, your strategy going into it might have been different. You might not have gone with the 70, and then you might have thrown in everything anyway and say, well, I'll get the refund and I'll maybe throw that in also, and then I'll take the JFP out and I'll throw it in. You might have shifted your entire thing based on your own goal and your timeline.
So question, why not tap into it on the open market after it's listed?
I mean, none of us said that.
For you?
Yeah.
Because I don't encourage anybody to buy something that they haven't researched fully.
No. I'm saying research is done.
It's not. That's why I'm not talking about that. After you do the research, you will know whether or not to buy the thing. Dollar is going to be available every single day on the market once it lists.
I know.
Yeah, so, and it becomes like every single other stock where we make a decision as to whether or not to buy it. And you know the basis on which I think these decisions should be made. Grow rich with research, it works.
So it was a part of my to-do list for this week, to finish reading the IPO, So the prospectus, I should say. So
all right.
Take the time and read it, man. Take the time and read it. You already know my thing. It puts you immediately ahead of 90% of the people, just by simply reading it.
Yeah, man.
All right, bossy. Big up.
Yeah, man, boss. What's up?
Big up. Anybody have any quick last things you want to send in? I don't want us to go. We're definitely not going until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I don't have the energy for it. I'm mad tired, but we will take maybe 1 or 2 more after. Sir Lopo, who's been waiting very patiently.
Good night. What going on? YP?
Night, boss. All going. Everything good,
Well, I did come on. I come with the tweet something yesterday for jump on and ask you. So I'm gonna do that.
I did that. What did you? What? I completely forgot about that. What was the tweet?
Yeah, but I ask you one. But I guess we just say something from not to pile on or anything. But to me, the last 2 conversations feel very dangerous to me because it feel like all of the energy that's going behind this monumental event that happened with Dollar and how much money it raised, etc., is just a bag of the flipping. And if everybody listen on the thing now, I say, that dangerous, brother. Even if it work out, as Randy always say, accidental profit.
The most dangerous profit, brother.
Yeah.
And it's going to work out for a lot of people. And they're not going to know why. And when you talk to them, they say, no, it's not investing stocks. I made a nice money off Dollar. And I'm going to agree with them, but they're not going to have any clue why.
Yeah, and the fear where you just said too. Because that means that the fear, I'll wait for fear about. But anyway, we're not done touch upon that.
Yeah.
So
that fear is a real point, brother. It's a whole heap of that money. Yeah. Fearful, but I didn't want to start with that. That is actually the reason behind me asking people, what are you going to do with your refund? No one yet has said, I'm buying more.
Everybody are itch.
Buying more, yeah. Bro,
no one yet has said.
I can't tell you how much I have to say, that's what we're doing. I mean, who we're doing the IPO, then buy here and then buy a refund with the refund, because the thought is, whatever I get in the IPO, it don't less up because it's a $1 price, and whatever I get on that.
But now it's a $2 when it just did that.
No, but it's a $2, but I think it's going to 4.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, next thing to I can speak generally. Uptown bad mind to Me have a point about that. Me nah get Cadine 250. Me nah get Cadine 250. Who is Cadine? Forget 250. Is not him getting it now. But people associate with him, and bad mind is a real thing. Bad mind is a real thing. So that's why I'm asking people, what are you doing with your refund? Because after this, like the beginner part done now, now we're starting to reach the do you know what you're doing part of the thing. Listing day is do you know what you're doing? Listing week, do you know what you're doing? First down day, that's when the real game starts.
Yeah, and maybe even me catch piece of the Uptown part earlier, but my rationale for Uptown in the thing, my brethren who is APO boss, man buy every APO, the man that argue with me, The man don't give me no reason except for long term and
Also, he argues with profit.
Yeah, man, him argue with profit, yes. Because you know, say, I mean, a profit me have to show you, so really.
Your profit not real, brother.
But the man say APO, the man ping me and say, no man, this Dolla financial things, all him buy it. I say,
Yeah. Cause I mean, big up Mayers and Ryan Reed. They marketed it properly, I think. They marketed it well to the new investing public. They have brought on new investors. I hope they highlight how many of their applicants are new JCSD, new people to the JSC. Because they've done their job. Congrats to them. It's out of their hands now. It's our turn. No, our game just start.
Yep. No, for real. So speaking of that, since we're on the topic, you say you want them sell lend and not Dolla. Me want to hear your rationale behind why I say sell lend and not Dolla. Because I've heard your rationale on others, but I kind of disagree on this one. So I want to hear your rationale to see if you have a different point of view.
Boy, there's the sensible part of my head is going, do not do this on the internet for free.
All right.
You're screaming at me, don't do it on the internet for free. There's no way. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it without saying it. So it's all right. I'm going to go through that punishment to my mind tonight after I get off here. Here's the thing, right? Dolla is performing now in an industry where they are a tiny player, and I'm speaking about industry, I mean the finance industry, right? They're looking at the big players completely, right? Led at the top by NCB, the giant, and everybody, as I said a little earlier, is trying to snip at NCB's heels and trying to grab them in little ways. In fact, I think a couple of weeks ago, Dana and I were talking on one of these brick talks, and I said that the death by 1,000 cuts that you hit them with, that a lot of people that they can be hit with, is the individual areas that they do business. Somebody might come in and hit them very hard there. So it's not that another conglomerate like Scotia coming in, because they truly stepped on Scotia. But somebody might come in and do mortgages alone very, very well. They're not even the head of, I'm speaking of NCB here, they're not even major in the mortgage space. Somebody might come in and do car loans alone very, very well. Just vehicle loans, that's all they do very, very well. Simpson Finance, as could be a dot, right? Somebody might come in and do small business lending extremely well. Dolla spoke to that sort of thing, right? Dolla is doing what they do very, very well. Now, Dolla, even in the microfinance space, they're not new. Because we like to talk as if companies just start a while ago. To Mears and his team credit, this thing they've been in business for a while. This is not the start of their story, right? No. And yes, I have to give all this context for anybody wondering. So they're within this space in which they are not the giant, and even within their microfinance sector, they are not the giant. Access is a major company, right? And it's also the first junior market company. It's not on the it don't have the tax break anymore. That's how it's long it's been around. Access, right? And as we know, in fact, Dolla themselves said that within the sector they exist, they think there are about over 800 players, of which they're one. No. When you're looking at such a varied marketplace where, yes, there's going to be an increase, you have to increase the moat, you have to increase the barrier to entry. And the government is helping with that with the Microcredit Act, right? But in the eyes of the consumers, you also need to stand out. Having an IPO definitely stands out. Being called Dolla also stands out in the same way water stands out for Wisynco.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's kind of my point, but more you go through,
However, Dolla has as their own title, as I said in the tweet, we lend. Very, very simple. And a simple thing is a powerful thing at times, right? I would say it a scream, shut up. People pay McKinsey a lot of money to do the things I do for free here. If you're going to set yourself apart within the space, to grab a verb, to grab an action as your own, is something that you definitely want to do. And then, let's say you don't like it, you do love your brand name, you understand it. Dolla is a great brand. I can't knock it. It works everywhere this side of the world, not just Jamaica. And it allows them, somebody pointed out that, what if they go into something else? Dolla still works once it's money. However, for now we know that they're lending and they're seriously looking at lending. So on the one hand, offensive, you want to plant your flag, not just as you've planted it now, which is a very loud plant, but you want to have a subtle thing in mind. Lend is part of our vernacular, is part of our how we speak as humans. Yes, Dolla is too, but even the people who don't say Dolla also say lend. So you want to grab that sort of offensive move very quickly, where lending becomes linked to Dolla. In fact, if you call yourself lend, every other financial house no longer can really rely on the term lend as much in their marketing, because it's gonna call back people's minds to Dolla. It makes Dolla top of mind, right? So you're getting teeth in marketing. Here's an example. Southwest Airlines, they have an audio tag. As I call, you'd have a logo, they have an audio tag. And their audio tag is the seatbelt sound on planes, meaning that the when the pilot said put on your seatbelt, the ding ding.
Yeah. Ding
Southwest managed to get that registered as their personal trademark. That means that even when you're on Emirates,
can use it.
No, they can't help it. It's in planes. So even when you're on Emirates Airlines and the pilot says fasten your seatbelt, ding ding, you get the Southwest sound. You know how much that must piss off a marketer? Because I can't change it. That's FAA rules, right? Like I can't change it. And I'll be open. I made a lot of this argument to convince Swaby to not call Edifocal on the market. Call it Learn, because you are aligned with the idea of learning. And I don't have to prove that, because now everybody say, yo, them need for hashtag or Dolla or hashtag Learn. Immediately linked to the idea of learning. No front, that's an offensive point. No thing defensive too. Even if you think Dolla is stronger than lend, do you want the next small loans company to change their ticker to be lend?
That's a very good point.
So,
and also even with the exposure from the IPO and the success and everything, I mean, how much people who participate in the IPO even did
our customers
borrow money, our customers of Dolla. You know what I mean?
And look on this too. The name Dolla, like within the lending space. So you start just looking at the name Dolla, you start going across to everything finance. You're not only talking about lending right there. So I could have a bank conglomerate named Dolla and people think it's appropriate.
Yeah.
My lending agency. And my first thought in me getting money it's really not. I don't think, and I think Dolla, I think profit, I think investing, I think my first thought isn't lending. Right? So it works for the name of the company. But
the action? In Danai's sentence, you hear how many times him say lending agencies, lending in other things. You grab that. Yeah. You grab that cash. And there are other points that I don't want to say, but those 2 points are 2 powerful points. If you understand marketing, people, and the future, imagine for the next 20 years, well, they're junior market, so for the next 15 years, anything JSC related with the idea of lending is Dolla. Just top of mind immediately. And then I can show you that you have to, even under JSC, you have to set yourself apart, because as good as they are, they're not the only microfinance on it. There's Access.
So imagine I come and drop a lend on top of that. These guys are already in the game, but yeah. And you can see the exposure listed companies get just on listing.
No, I get it. The only thing that I had in my mind is that was the first thing that you said. Just it's one of the easiest, most identifiable branding names that list on the market. It's not like some company that name, not JFP, but like it's not just a bunch of letters. Mm-hmm. Like even as a company,
QWI.
It's so QWI letters. Like it really has its own. Like, would you want to lose the brand effect of just saying but no, the action part, man,
it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, man.
And they already say it,
part really academic for me.
Yeah, they say it now. Look at how simple their prospectus was. Their logo, I mean, the required stuff, their logo, financial services, we lend. That's a powerful thing. That's the kind of power that Proven put hundreds of millions into building with their brand. We are proven. We're proven. Dollar, the man on the street, the man and woman on the street. What them do? We lend. What them tick on him? Lend. I'd have shake at night if the next
Microfinance system.
Lender.
if SVL spin-off Makela or their fintech thing and take the ticker lend, Jesus. Because it doesn't box it in either. And we see it happen with Learn where people know Edifocal is Edifocal and they know Learn is Edifocal. And we see it also happen with like Purity.
Mm-hmm.
Purity is what's pure is Purity or is it
Consolidated break? Okay,
yeah, Purity is Consolidated Breakers and Creamy is Caribbean Cream. But Creamy is their known
most
product.
popular.
But that is brand. But those two are a brand one for me, Randy. Like,
well, yeah, but
it's along the same lines, you know.
Yeah.
That's like Proven.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the same equal scenario, but just the thought behind naming it a certain thing does give it some power. Does do a certain thing.
Yeah, but in fact, it is the same thing, just in a different way. It's the same principle
in a different way.
Industry,
yes.
Yeah. So in Purity's industry, like the level of competition that exists in Purity's line of business, like think of just Purity versus what's their listed competitor?
Honeybun.
Right? Think of just Purity versus Honeybun. How even now recently they look like they've switched places. They're constant in that space, in that FMCG, the fast moving consumer group. You need every little edge you can to stand out ahead of the competition. So let me use my biggest brand name, because then maybe people who will buy the stock will wonder. They're not gonna see a bread called Consolidated, but they will see a bread called Purity and also think about Miss Birdie, right?
Yeah.
Honeybun having the name it has. Honeybun. It says a lot. It's both the way I read it as well as something is called a honey bun.
Exactly.
Right? It's a big product.
And then in the case of Proven, it was within the same finance space. And what they wanted, I think, I don't know, was not the marketing team. What they wanted, I think, was coming out. They wanted to show that we're not some new fly-by-night thing, right? We're not the new boys. We're not just trying to figure it out. But we don't want to act too brash because they're finance, and it's not no finance where things are a little more edgy. You get me? It's finance back coming out of FinSac days where these guys were young guys then and they wanted to show their edge, but you can't act too wild in the finance space. So what do we come with? Let's show that we have proven ability. We're proven. We have a strong name. We want to engender trust quickly.
Yeah.
It's too powerful, I think, to skip. And please cut the check. Please cut the check. Please cut the check. I'll take payment
I'm
in
rooting
shares.
for the check field. No, it makes sense. To me, this would be somebody with the strong brand name, like a creamy identifier, but you actioning the action power of saying, what do we do as your representation on the market? And yeah, because I think that trigger for me, once you say like lend, and I'm like, but who just bought in the IPO would have ever called Dolla for say, who did call Dolla right now for say, boy, I want to borrow some money for the IPO on a rate state?
Somebody,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter, I think I tweeted that at
Kadeen. Yeah, I know that.
Asking, yeah. But imagine somebody
how many people actually did it? Like how much was there? How much was that their first thought?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I really think I you can hear a passionate time about the idea. I know it's a strong idea. I am kicking myself for doing it for free. And there's more businesses. Yeah, Cut the
You'll be
check, please.
fine.
Yeah.
There's more fruit.
Oh, God.
So you'll be fine. No, I like the rationale though. Respect.
Yeah, man. Big up, and thanks for asking. So tell me, what are you doing with your refund?
Fill up that dollar, every dollar mega lend.
Every dollar count.
Every dollar count.
So you're not. Well, I don't know how much I want to ask you. Your prices. So you're not considering something else on the market. What about other things on the market? The shopping that this week has been.
Well, I mean, with my refund, I don't think I use my refund to that. But I
You
only have
money.
one other stock I'm invested in. I know, so that on discount too. So you know what I mean.
Man, you're doing the concentrated run. I remember them ways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in one. Dollar come along, mature in what I can, and then you get what you can
and go back.
Yeah.
Right back.
I mean, honestly, the play was going to be that we'd have the margin for putting this and that. The goal that I'd have based off of this projection would have been my entire portfolio goal. So based off of the volume we can get from the margin. That never worked out. So me still look more money to do that play with dollar for me personally. Because I know my percentage and I don't run for realized gains. I'm a realized kind of guy. So
what you do if dollar refunds hit like next week and JPS prospectus drop like next week? What then?
Well, you put pickle in out.
Is that me do it, you know? Is that me do it if it happened? You know the funny thing is, by the way, I should say also to Danai, if it happened, no one is going to accept that we didn't know that it was gonna happen.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear a man. In fact, I mean
they know. But I don't. I mean, I've been timing it for a little while, and if you listen to your state, but it would really be a hell of a storm if it dropped now. In fact, what if it drops before dollar actually lists?
Brother, no, you're gone. But here's the thing. All going, that's the difference between this is a quick flipper and the research. If the prospectus drop, that's a new data point. I have to assess. That's how the market stay to me. So
yeah.
But
that's
it's
true.
not it's a big looming thing. It's a big giant for assess.
Yeah.
But you have to assess.
And I see them make some moves. Yeah, I see some dots from them that look very much like it. I see they're asking for an extraordinary rate increase from the OUR. And then I can see a prospectus document stating that in addition to the heavy profit that they made in the last year, because they made strong profits in the last year, and I see some rearranging of how they've been announcing their dividends and their preference shares. I could see them talking about the fact that we have this level of profitability, we expect X amount of growth. We're looking to push heavier into this level of renewables, and we also have a expansion plan because it's an extraordinary thing that they want to do, and it involves expansion. And we have sent to the OUR to do it. So now you put in. Usually JPS can put positive pressure on the OUR to get an increase, especially an extraordinary one in these extraordinary times. But if they are listed, suddenly you have what? 200,000, 100,000 shareholders that kind of going, well, give them it so they make the profit and we can make it back that way there,
Also, how government something will work now, where them pay the bill up to a certain point.
The 20%, yeah. They're gonna need the fund.
How JPS receivables work again? How them stay at last time ago?
Government paid off their loan to JPS recently. I saw somebody in the grower subscribers group share that. I want to get it right. I don't want.
But I think that JPS also has collection problems, which can lead to ECLs, and the government saying, "Hey, we'll step in and we'll put it on this regular payment schedule instead of wait and collect from this bag of people, which is a problem customer base." And maybe we're sitting there again. That can work well, no? Meaning, me not gonna pay my bill, but the government will do it.
And the government might be also, the point I thought you were making, Danai, was like that money that they're paying, that subsidy. I even saw it on my bill. Big up Dr. Nigel Clark for keeping that promise. I saw it on my bill, and I'm thinking, where are they getting the money from? Where are they getting the money from? The money have to come from somewhere. Yeah, and it was one thing Dr. Clark knows finance. He's no fool. So even if you pay no, it have to come from somewhere. And there are other, as good as it is now, it's a social protective measure, which I am glad that we're able to afford. But I know that we can't afford it blindly. It have to come from somewhere. So sell that 20%, that 19.99%.
Pay them back.
And they just paid this. They just paid in full the 2.9 billion for the street light project. They don't usually pay, like, I think if I'm working from memory here, they've had bills that them just leave for years.
Oh yeah, man. Speed of government.
But they paid this one off. That why? Well, the books look a lot better. Can you imagine how good the books look now? For what? Yeah, it's a lot of dots there.
What a time.
Yeah. Big up the grower subscribers group. And I love this small little community of people that are taking it very, very serious. I won't load up nobody's name, but
I load up somebody. Big up I've said it privately, I've said it, I think I probably said it to you before. Rate energy, yeah, go on good.
True.
I love the effort you put into this.
That's true.
You are the boss.
Yeah, I could say big up my deadly like a second striker.
Fox.
A false 9 or something, I don't know. Sir Lopo. And if you had another point or you got enough of an answer, I mean,
no man, I'm satisfied.
All right,
bless up, man.
All right, bless up.
And big up my too. Big up my too.
Yeah, my sharp man, sharp. All right. I don't see anybody else send any speaking requests that I do need to sleep. And I'm sure.
As though it's been a rough week.
Yeah, and I've
not from the market though.
People just cut the part where I'm saying it's been a rough week. And then just show the red. Just go mymoneyja.com and go and go order by decliners and just show the reds.
Him against Stongs JA can make a thing. Can make a review. It's been a rough week. So that'd be hilarious actually.
I really want to know who that is. There are few accounts that I really enjoy on Twitter. That's one of them. That is one of them. Big up whoever that person is. You know who it is, I truly have no idea who it is. And I'm happy not knowing who it is. I enjoy it as a fan.
Same.
Yeah, I enjoy it as a fan. But look at all the reds, my God. Anyway, shopping time again Monday morning.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thank you for everybody who came in and sent a message or shared some info with us or asked a question, spoke to us. Thank you, Danai, for hosting this with me. Thank you guys for listening to us. Hope it was informative. Everybody who just got in, if it's your first IPO, or you're just getting into the stocks thing, or you don't get in yet and you're 1.9 and you wanted to get in, but you thought you don't have time, sorry. Come to Grow, everymickle.com/grow. You will learn a lot more about the market. It will be helpful. And the two people who participate the most in the next Grow class, which is Sunday, meaning literally Sunday, forget the people who watch this online. So Sunday, May 29th, 2022. They'll get a chance to meet with Danai in June. So you don't have to wait until much later. And of course, when Danai does open up July or August.
July done. August next month.
Yeah. So when he opens up August, you go to dhalladvisory.com and you book a session with him, and it will work out greatly. Trust me. All right. Having said all of that, thank you guys very, very much. It's been another Brick Talk. Hope it has been informative, enjoyable, blah, blah, blah. I hope it hasn't been boring. I will see you again next week. Night, everybody.
Enjoy your weekend.